you're going to have a tendency to be up in the strike zone. It might take him a minute to get a feel for his off-speed stuff too, but I talked to Steve McCaddy before the game, and he said they ran him a little bit more. His side work was a little more intense just to wear him down so that it was like he was pitching on time.
One thing we have seen guys in the past, when he's had a little bit of time off, he can pop that fastball 95 plus. It'll be an interesting matchup today.
And Jordan Zimmerman, Bob, is matched up against Chris Tillman, who had a very unusual game at Fenway Park on Monday night. Base runners all over the place, but at the end, he had 5 scoreless innings.
Yeah, base runners galore right from the first inning on. He got out of a couple of jams, had one nice play where he made the behind-the-back play himself in that game. Derek Lee made a couple of great plays at first base to really stave off some big innings. At least give the Orioles a chance to win.
So the Orioles today are hosting the Nationals, and Bob and FP, as you look at this matchup with Chris Tillman, from the Nationals' perspective, you really don't know which pitcher is going to show up, the guy who can pound the zone or someone who's erratic.
And I think along with that, Jim, we don't know which offense is going to show up in the road uniforms. The Nationals actually employ both of their catchers today. Pudge Rodriguez will be catching. Wilson Ramos goes to DH, and Michael Morse gives Adam LaRoche a day off at first.
I like the lineup today. It's the most offensive lineup the Nats have put out there all season long. So when you talk about Ramos and Pudge being in the game, don't worry, everybody at home. It's fine. If one of the catchers goes down, you just lose your DH. Not a big deal.
All right, somebody's winning a series today.
All right, Bob and FP, and the Orioles are getting ready to take on the Nats. The rubber game of 3. We're coming back. Lineups at first pitch are next. Major League Baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Hyundai, it's time to join the movement. Daytime baseball at Camden Yards on a somewhat overcast afternoon all of a sudden, and today's game time temperature is brought to you by Train. Visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. 76 somewhat muggy degrees here at Oriole Park, and we'll see how that affects the flight of the baseball. Orioles did get a home run yesterday after the Nats got 6 on Friday night. Today's starting lineup is packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. And for the Nats, it'll be Bernardina, Desmond, and Nix with Jason Worth in that cleanup spot. Wilson Ramos, the other catcher, will DH. Then Michael Morse and Danny Espinosa. How about those numbers for the weekend? 4 out of 8, a home run, a triple, a double, 5 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. The veteran Ivan Rodriguez will catch, and Alex Cora at third base will bat ninth.
Today's scouting report is brought to you by AFSIA. Visit AFSIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. And for Tillman this afternoon will be wind me up. When he is in the windup, the opposition hits 226, runners on 356. Big difference. Stay in the windup. Round trip ticket hasn't allowed a home run in his last 27 innings. Also a good sign. And sneak attack. He's never faced the Nationals before, so we'll see how they adjust for the first time getting a look at Chris Tillman.
And the first pitch, a fastball, is right there for a strike, and we are underway.
Those keys are so much better than mine are going to be. I have no shot of even hanging with you on that today.
And a bunt attempt past the mound. It's a good one. Andino will have to hurry, never get it. An absolutely perfect drag bunt for Bernardina, and he is on with the leadoff single.
And we've seen him do this to third base a couple of times. Nice job of bringing it with you. You just get that ball in no man's land right there with Bernardina's speed. He's going to beat that out every single time. I don't know what Jim Riggleman is out there talking about. Maybe Bernardina stepped on home plate. He's arguing right now with home plate umpire Todd Tickner.
And very animated as well.
I'm not sure what's
unless
really
they're calling Bernardina back, maybe.
I think they're saying he's out. That he's out of the batter's box.
So Riggleman and Tishner continuing to go at it, and Riggleman has been ejected. So Todd Tishner, the home plate umpire. Bernardina's still down at first base, so if he steps on the plate, he's out.
Let's take a look at it. There's the pitch from Chris Tillman. Yeah, right on the middle of the plate.
And I'll tell you what, guys, that is very alert umpiring to have the presence of mind to look down to make sure that nothing illegal happened.
Well, how do you know where the pitch is going to end up and look down at the player's foot on home plate? How can you call ball and strike and see that his foot's on the plate? I mean, that's pretty good multitasking right there, if you ask me.
And you saw how quickly he made the call. His arms went up really immediately. Jim Riggleman is going to last all of 2 pitches this afternoon.
And Todd Tishner is on this crew. He's a minor league vacation relief umpire, and he got the call right. Nicely done.
Well, he got the call right, but, I mean, that's looking for something to me. I mean, if he doesn't make that call, do you think Buck Showalter's out there arguing about the fact that Roger Bernardina's foot came close to touching home plate? That's one of those things. It's like, you know, you're getting ready to get in your car and the meter just runs out and all of a sudden you get a parking ticket. Well, to me, that's looking for something.
Well, isn't getting the call right what you're supposed to do as an umpire? Here's Ian Desmond. And it's a little bit low, 1-0.
Well, a wonderful start to this one.
Ian Desmond 4 out of 10 in the series, 14 stolen bases on the year, tied for third in the league. And he swings through it, and it's 1-1.
So how am I scoring that? What do you put in your scorecard?
We're waiting for the official scoring ruling.
I'm just going to put eagle
out.
Eagle
out.
Eye. I'm putting 2
Eagle
words.
eye out.
Eagle eye out.
Good call.
There's a foul. 2 unassisted is the official. It was like the other night when Brandon Snyder got hit by what would have been a ball hit into right field. Weeder still gets a hit, but the first baseman got the put out because he was closest to Snyder.
Might want to give it to the home plate umpire.
Put him in player of the game today.
And it's fouled back. So instead of a bunt single and a leadoff man on, it is a 2 unassisted, 1 out, nobody on, and the base hit comes off the board. There's a liner to center field. Adam Jones back on it. It's over his head. That ball carried. And it goes all the way to the wall. Desmond will have a 1-out double. So the play at the plate possibly has cost the Nats a run because with Bernardina's speed, he likely could have scored on that play.
Well, as you see, and this looks like Adam Jones does not see it very well off the bat. Almost a couple of steps in before he picks it up. And then had to retreat.
A lot of times, Mike, in a day game when you're playing center field, you're looking in and you see a lot of white T-shirts as the backdrop. As an outfielder, I used to hate day games because you don't get good jumps on the baseball. The best thing that's happened right now for all the outfielders, there's little cloud cover, so you don't have the sun glare on top of the white T-shirts, but it's tough to see the ball out of shirts.
Yeah, first thing I was checking was behind home plate. It's like kind of a sea of orange this afternoon, but you're right, and especially with the sun out, it's even worse.
Breaking ball for a strike to Lance Nix as we peer in from center field, just above the bullpens.
There's a few white shirts back there this afternoon.
And this one breaks in high, and it's 1-1 on Lance Nix. And comes in batting at 302. Chris Tillman on the year with none on base, a 226 average with runners on 356. Fourth largest in the major leagues, and that's not the direction you want it to be larger.
Well, the key is just to stay in the windup. But you got one break so far.
There's a fastball in the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 1-2.
I mean, if you start the game out making that call behind home plate and you're Todd Tickner, everybody better touch every base on a double play. There's no in the neighborhood plays. There's no phantom tags. There's no throw beating anybody, because if you're going to call it by the book like that, then everybody else for 9 innings out there has to do the same thing. That's one of those plays you don't see called that happens all the time.
And a swing and a miss. He got him. So Tillman gets Nix and 2 men down.
Yeah, breaking out the A curveball here. This is big sweeping 12-6 break. Out of into the strike zone and then through the bottom of it. And the better curveballs Tillman's thrown in a while.
And Pitch Track sponsored by Papa John's. Order online at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. So Tillman needs to get past the cleanup hitter Jason Worth to get out of the inning. In his start on Monday, he allowed the Red Sox to load the bases in the first with 1 out and got out of it. And strike 1 taken by Worth.
Tillman was really helped by his defense. Right, they had bases loaded, 1 out, struck out Ortiz, and a nice play at first base by Derek Lee, who got him out of the first.
Line foul the other way, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, defense this afternoon. PA will be in left, Jones in center, Markakis will be in right field, Reynolds and Hardy on the left, and Dino and Luke Scott playing first base today at first base, and behind the plate Matt Wieters. Been a little tough week defensively. 8 unearned runs allowed this week. That's more than they allowed the previous 6 weeks.
0-2 is off the plate. Worth doesn't chase, and the count evens up 2-2. Chris Tillman coming off that no decision as we look at Brian Roberts on the bench on the 7-day disabled list, with the concussion symptoms. And the 1-2 is high. And 2-2 the count on Worth. Brian is eligible to return on Tuesday. Not sure if that'll happen.
I know they were asking him about baseball activities, and my understanding he really hasn't done that many as of yet, not cleared.
2-2 on Worth. Desmond at second, 2 down. And a bouncer towards third, charging Reynolds. He'll throw on the run, and he got him for the out. So 1 out double and a man left. Little League Day here at Camden Yards, and the interleague spirit for the interleaguers. the top of the first. Here come the Orioles in the bottom of the first, and the starting lineup is packaged by SouthwestAirlines.com. Get online for the lowest fare, SouthwestAirlines.com. P.A. Jones and Markakis with Vladimir Guerrero DHing. Matt Wieters will catch in the number 5 spot. 368 average with 5 ribbies in his 5 games in the number 5 spot in the lineup. Then Luke Scott and Mark Reynolds, J.J. Hardy, and Robert Andino.
The AFC intelligence report on Jordan Zimmerman. Lower your sights. 10 days off. You look for the ball down in the strike zone. He's going to be a little bit strong today. Might have a tendency to be up. Love the heat. This guy throws 95, 96. He should have a very good fastball today. And don't shake off Crash. Pudge Rodriguez behind home plate. Last time out against the Braves, he had a 4-run lead. Nobody on, nobody out. He threw a 3-1 slider to Freddie Freeman. Ended up costing him 4 runs. Ended up costing him the win. So trust that guy's digits behind the plate today, Jordan Zimmerman.
PA foul tip held by Ivan Rodriguez, so 1-1. Felix hitting at 254. Reimold played in left field yesterday, and with the right-hander today, PA back in the lineup. And there's a strike on the inside corner, and 1-2. PA's got a 3-game hitting streak working. And with Luke Scott at first base again today with Derek Lee on the disabled list, Felix getting a little more regular playing time as he fouls it straight back.
Yeah, I'm sure a little bit more platooning going on and shuffling around with Derek Lee on the disabled list.
Standing right next to Brian Mattis, who's on the disabled list.
Yeah, a lot of options between left field and first base for manager Buck Showalter. There's a couple of first basemen right there.
1-2 on PA, leading off in the Oriole first. Zimmerman, 24 years old, of Auburndale, Wisconsin. The baseball hotbed of Wisconsin, down and in 2-2. And he played in college, Mike, at the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. How many players you believe made the major leagues?
I'm just trying to think. Isn't Mark Burley from a small town up there in Wisconsin? And
he got him. So PA down on strikes and 1 away.
You know, when he's going good, he throws a slider on the back knee of left-handed hitters. We check out the late break right there. 88 miles an hour, so that's just not a get-me-over slider. With 2 strikes, he'll front door the sinker. He'll go with that slider on the back knee. And that's always the key for me watching Jordan Zimmerman pitch. When he's got his good slider going, it's usually a long day for the opponent.
Yeah, and we talked about the extra rest, so it doesn't appear to be overthrowing, but he is clearly in the mid-90s, and he has the kind of stuff that can get you out in the zone. He doesn't need to get you to expand.
So the strikeout of PA brings Jones up. And the breaking ball for a strike in the outside corner. It's 0-1.
So what's the rule? No shaking of Pudge? Is that what it is?
No shake off Crash.
Is that an official team rule or an FP suggestion?
Well, he shook 3 times to get to that 3-1 slider last time against the Braves. So
Michael Morrison foul ground, has it for the out and 2 away here in the first and quickly.
And the defense behind Jordan Zimmerman today for the Nationals: Nix, Bernardina, and Worth in the outfield. Desmond and Core on the left side. Espinosa and Morse on the right side, and Crash Davis doing the catching. Pudge has been great this year. He's playing like a 25-year-old guy back there. I know you guys haven't had the opportunity to see him play, but he's bouncing around. I mean, just watch him on a foul ball. We've seen foul balls 12 rows back, and he's sprinting over to the dugout, the first guy there. Lots of energy, playing the game like he's a little kid.
Markakis takes ball 1.
No, I'd say he's always been a high-energy catcher, period. Pitchers love to throw to him, have loved to throw to him over the years, not only because he throws so well and controls the running game, but for his signal calling.
And that's the thing, Mike, that I've admired about him this year is just the sequencing and how he sets hitters up. I mean, you could just sit here and get lost in the course of a game watching him putting fingers down and watching him set up pitches, thinking 2, 3, 4 pitches ahead, maybe even 2 batters ahead to how he works somebody.
Markakis slices it the other way, but it's foul.
And the other thing that really goes lost when you're certainly a former pitcher is the catcher's target. The catcher's target is critical to a pitcher and his success. And Pudge Rodriguez, much like Rick Dempsey, have that target that they give it to the pitcher early. It really makes a big difference when you're picking up it, and it's like his hand is able to tilt all the way back and just give this great look.
You see that target right there with 2 strikes. He wanted it in, but he wanted up and in. So what does he do? He kind of stands up, a little modified stand-up right there. You know, don't get me going because I can talk about this guy all day long. He is fun to watch when he's in there.
1-2 is fisted towards right field, and on it is Jason Worth. So 3 up, 3 down go the Orioles, and a good start for Jordan Zimmerman. We played 1, no score. At Camden Yards, we're featuring an exciting lineup of Jeep and Dodge vehicles, and today the critically acclaimed Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland Summit, the most luxurious, distinctive, and comprehensively equipped Grand Cherokee ever. And boy, ain't she a beauty. That is a fun ride right there, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, which I happen to drive.
I was wondering why you liked it so much.
No score as we go to the second inning. And an overcast, muggy afternoon. Orioles stay home for a day off tomorrow. The Nats continue their road trip as they head to Milwaukee. Wilson Ramos DHing today, and he takes a strike. Ramos hitting at 280, 3 home runs. Looks at a breaking ball low.
A little bit of assortment, different assortment by Chris Tillman. To right-handers, they'll feature fastball, curveball. Left-handers, more fastball, changeup. That's one of the reasons he's had so much more success against lefties. A little unusual.
You see he's got a little wrap there on the backside. Takes that ball out of the glove and wraps it around.
He's a very upright pitcher. He really doesn't have the classic follow-through.
Just misses off the plate, 2-2.
He stands very tall. He's 6'4", about 220, 200 pounds. Long and lean, and many feel he could add a few miles of velocity, a little bit better finish.
And again, works the count full, and this is a continuing dilemma of some of the young pitchers on this staff where they get ahead 1-2 or 0-2, and before you know it, the hitter's back in the at-bat.
What do you mean by better finish, Mike? Is he spinning off at the end? Is that
he's just upright. If you watch on his follow-through, just a little bit of a bend.
Line to right, you got a lot of it. Markakis back, and he makes the catch. Over the shoulder grab by Markakis for the out. Takes a double away from Ramos.
Well, that's the thing. Most of the home runs he's given up have been leading off inning. So good swing, 3-2. Nice running catch by Markakis, right in stride.
You see how still his head was there at the end? I mean, that's the key to making that play. As an outfielder, whenever you go a long way for the baseball, you get that bobblehead going. When you get the bobblehead going, the ball's bouncing all over the place. He kept his head very still right there. It's a great play.
So the defense helping him out. One away in the second. Michael Morse is starting at first base today, and he'll lift it into left field, and there's a single. So second hit by the Nationals. Well, talking about the Orioles' young starters, we asked Andy McPhail his opinion about the progress of these starters.
Well, in some degree, they've exceeded my expectations, in terms of how quickly they may have matriculated through the system, or the fact that right now, as we speak, our quality start percentage is close to 60%, and that's without Mattis. And that's playing fairly tough part of our schedule with some very good offensive clubs. So I think that part of it, which I probably was the most concerned about coming on opening day, particularly without Brian, has actually been okay. The other aspects have been disappointing in some respects to us, but the young starting pitching, which is the most vital and important component, has actually acquitted itself pretty well.
So Chris Tillman, who is looking for consistency, misses outside to Espinosa. In his brief career, he has just 6 major league wins, but he has never put together back-to-back wins in starts. An opportunity to do that today, as he had a no decision in his last start. 2-0 on Espinosa. Espinosa has 32 hits on the year, and 16 of those 32 hits are extra base hits. And down and in, ball 3. For his career, Tillman has averaged 4 walks per game while striking out 5.5.
Well, usually makes it his own problem. What is it? He gives up base hits. He's given up 45 hits and 15 walks. That's 60 runners in 38 innings coming in. So that's a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities. And his troubles usually come in the first 2 innings. He's allowed 9 runs in the first of this year and 6 runs in the second. That's 15 of the 23 that he has allowed.
3-1, swung through, 3-2.
Danny Espinosa's been good in this series. Why has he been good? He's shortened his swing up. He's very short to the baseball right there. He got count leverage, 3-1, tried to do some damage, maybe got a little bit too big. And sometimes as a hitter, when you get too big, you'll actually slow your swing down. Looked like he was in pull mode right there, and the ball just ran away.
Runner goes on 3-2, and it's fouled off. And today's second inning is brought to you by Luna. Call today for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Active career leaders in doubles, and Ivan Rodriguez, who is in the lineup today at 569 atop the list. And there's Pudge waiting on deck. From 3-0 to 3-2 on Espinosa. Morse runs again, and it's swept foul behind first base coach Dan Radisson. One thing Tillman has done a very good job as of late is keep the ball in the ballpark. He has gone 5 consecutive starts without allowing a home run, and he's allowed only 2 on the year. Alex Avila of the Pirates hit a solo home run off of the Tigers, excuse me. And Alex Rodriguez of the Yankees, a 3-run home run. So Avila and Rodriguez, the 2 home runs off Tillman. Runner goes again, and it's fouled back. So Danny Espinosa having one of these at-bats like he did the other night against Arrieta. Prolonging the at-bat with foul balls.
Yeah, Tillman's pitch count already up to 31 pitches. About a third of the allotment. To get through 4 outs so far.
And Michael Morris is getting his running in.
Well, John McLaren will take over. Longtime coach and sometime manager. Manager with the Mariners along the way. Coach for the Blue Jays, Seattle.
Danny Espinosa fighting again. We talked about it in the open today. The 10-pitch home run, in the first game of the series, fired up the bench. Showed everybody, hey, I'm going to stick my nose in there and fight. And as he keeps fouling these balls off, Michael Morse has a bad knee at first base, and he's the guy that's running back and forth. You just hope that sprained knee holds up with all these 3-2 steals.
And on the 10th pitch, he fouls it off.
I think Morse has stopped running, though.
Either that or he's ready to go to rehab.
Well, he's been chiefing it out with a bad knee. And it's just nice to see Danny Espinosa fight like this. We've seen so many 1, 2, 3 strikeouts from him early in the season. He's a young kid and he's learning as he goes. But what is he telling me right now? Regardless of what happens in this at-bat, he's learning. He's learning how to fight with 2 strikes, learning how to battle up there and foul balls off.
Morse goes, called strike 3, throw to second, they got him. A strikeout throw-out double play as Wieters guns down Morse. Middle of the second, Nats and O's, no score. For every double play the Orioles turn during today's game, Carmine will win $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn double plays into cash and enter to win for a chance at amazing Oriole prizes. Go to mdlottery.com/double play. And there is the first double play of the game, so Carmine Lamberti has already won $1,000.
Pretty good afternoon so far.
And pretty good curveball from Tillman. Nice pitch.
Just some finish to it. Hitters will give up on it.
Vladimir Guerrero batting now, and he is on an absolute tear. He not only has a 7-game hitting streak, they have all been multi-hit games. .469 average during the last 7 games.
Well, hitting the ball all over right field, center field, left field. Very difficult to defend when he's swinging the bat the way he is and using the whole ballpark.
Inside, outside, over his head, on a hop.
Low and behind, up and in.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
We used to sit on the bench when he was my teammate in Montreal and say, I wonder what's going through Vladdy's head right now. I wonder what his game plan is. You think he's looking middle in or sitting on a curveball? No, he's just going up there, seeing the ball and saying, I'm going to do some serious damage on this pitch.
Inside, 3-1.
Yeah, he has used the whole field this year. 16 of his hits to left field, 17 to right field, and 21 right back up the middle.
Good hitters count here, 3-1. And he looks at a strike in the outside corner, borderline pitch, and Zimmerman gets the call, 3-2.
That's a big time pitch, 3-1.
This one lifted to center field, Bernardina in on it, and he's got it for the out. So Guerrero's retired. And 1 away in the second. Zimmerman has retired the first 4 Oriole batters. Here's Matt Wieters, who has caught all 3 games in this series.
Yeah, built-in off day tomorrow, so he'll get the catching assignment in the day game.
And Wieters, like Guerrero, is in his hottest stretch of the season right now. Fouled off the other way. And no balls and 2 strikes. Well, when the Orioles take on the Royals on Tuesday night, don't miss your chance to save. Every Tuesday, Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserve seats are just $9. So gather up your family and friends and enjoy an affordable night here at Camden Yards. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. One and two the count on Wieters with one out, none on. And the breaking ball stays outside and high, 2-2. And a broken back ground ball, foul wide of first. Kind of amazing when you look at this matchup today. Both Tillman and Zimmerman making their 32nd major league starts, and both have 6 major league wins.
I used to look at it, if you won half of your starts, it was considered a good year. A lot of no decisions along the way, not losses, just no decisions.
Another 2-2 pitch to Wieters. Just fouled back just below us. Zimmerman just 24 years old, and Tillman is 23. As Tillman came over in the trade that sent Eric Bedard to Seattle. Both these pitchers are also second-round draft picks, as Wieters has worked the count full. Zimmerman by the Nats and Tillman by the Mariners.
And neither pitcher being subject to the count. Both have been somewhat fearless in throwing 3-1 breaking balls, 3-2 breaking balls early in this one.
Payoff pitch is popped foul. That'll be out of play over the Nats dugout.
Yeah, I think the first case to Vladimir Guerrero, a little respect there for a guy that can do some damage with one swing. But for Jordan Zimmerman, a lot of times he throws maybe too much off speed. It's a guy that throws 94 to 96. He's got a great fastball. Steve McCatty's been working with the young pitcher to pitch to contact more often. You know, sometimes when you're young, you think more is better. You want to throw it harder. He's trying to get him to get some first pitch outs with that 2-seamer on the ground.
Bounce to second. Espinosa gets an in-between hop, plays it cleanly. And 2 down here in the second inning. There was a 9-pitch at bat for Matt Wieters, but Zimmerman won the battle.
Yeah, Zimmerman thrown a lot of strikes. Just 9 balls out of the 28 pitches thrown so far.
Like I said, the key for him is that slider at times, but when he's got good fastball command and it's mid-90s with a little movement and he's hitting his spots, it's a rough at-bat for anybody.
Luke Scott bats now, 2 outs and none on. And he takes low. One thing we are seeing here in the Nationals-Orioles series, combining our Masson families, is that the trend of the past has turned around.
I mean, this is a case with you got a guy that's hitting 228. Luke Scott's a very good major league hitter, but he hasn't found his groove yet this year. You go first pitch slider, second pitch curveball, and you're behind 2-0. Then you go 2-0 slider. So a lot of respect right here for Luke Scott.
Yeah, we've actually seen this a lot to Luke Scott this year. Had the big year last year with the 27 home runs. There's some clubs that are just very reluctant to throw him a fastball anytime. You'll see a lot of change-ups. We were talking about pitchers doubling and tripling up, and with Luke this year, we've seen 4 or 5 straight change-ups in a row to Luke from a couple of the clubs.
I mean, you talk about reading swings right there. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Gets a fastball in the outer third of the plate. What does he do? We talked about it with Matt Stairs yesterday. Just a little leak in his swing. He's pulling off. What does that tell you if you're Pudge and you're Jordan Zimmerman? He's looking for the ball in the inner half. He's having trouble staying closed.
2-2 is just inside. Ball 3. Zimmerman thought he had the strikeout.
That's a good pitch.
So 3-2 on all 3 batters in this inning. And Luke Scott works the walk. Breaking ball down in the dirt. So the Orioles have their first base runner, comes with 2 outs in the second inning.
Well, the similarity between both starters this afternoon, neither one is giving in. We've seen a few 3-2 counts already, and not just your traditional fastball low and away with see what's happened, stay away from the walk. They're taking that chance. You know, with breaking balls, it's a pitch you probably get over on a good day 50% of the time. So they're going for the strikeout, and the result could also be a walk. But it's not giving in the traditional count.
So Mark Reynolds, the possible home run threat, comes up with a man on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I throw 95, 96, you're getting a 3-2 fastball 9 times out of 10 for me. I mean, I don't know what it feels like to throw that hard. I would love to know what it feels like to throw that hard. And if I threw that hard, I'd throw that hard more often than not. That makes sense.
And if you could still throw that hard, you wouldn't be sitting up here with us.
With makeup and a tie on.
Off-speed pitch finds the corner, 1-1. Makeup looks good, though.
Thanks.
Keys were fine, too.
Were they all right?
Yeah, Keys, they were absolutely fine.
Thanks. Oh, tough competition here.
And the 1-1 misses inside, ball 2. Reynolds has hit in 3 in a row, and he's had a tough start to his year, so that's a real positive. 3 hits in 9 at-bats over the last 3 games, trying to get that batting average above 200. Luke Scott draws a throw.
He's had some big time success. I'm talking about Reynolds against the Nationals. Career 300 hitter. 15 walks. 23 games against the Nationals. 7 home runs. 16 RBIs.
Reynolds towards the gap in right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Luke Scott heading to third. The ball bounces into the stands for a ground rule double, and that cost the Orioles a run. Luke Scott would have easily scored as he was running on the swing with 2 down, and Reynolds hit that rubberized warning track and it bounced over the wall for a ground rule double.
Now, he's had a good series. Had a walk and a double in yesterday's game. Had 2 walks and a double in game 1 of the series. So it's been walks and doubles galore for Reynolds in this series.
And the more you guys see of Mark Reynolds, when he's going that way to right center, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark that way. But when he goes to right center, that's a good sign for Orioles fans. That means he's locked in.
So Reynolds has hit in 4 straight. Pitch Track sponsored by Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air on the most advanced 4G network in the world. As J.J. Hardy takes a strike, chance to get the Orioles on the board. Second and third and 2 down. And that's wide of the plate. Hardy yesterday with a base hit in his last at-bat. Snapped an 0 for 23. He is just 1 for 19 on the homestand.
He really struggled since hitting that grand slam.
And a bloop towards right field. Worth in on it. It hangs, and he has it for the out. So playing shallow pays off for Jason Worth. Well, it was Little League Day here before the game. That little Nats fan ran on the field. You got to stay in line, young man. Get back to the parade. Major League Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer during their really big thing sales event for a great offer on all Honda cars and trucks. Nice crowd on hand on this Sunday afternoon. It is Little League Day here, and the Little Leaguers got to parade on the field before the game. And as always, a thrill. They were lining up outside about 10:30 this morning to get on the field in the parade. And here is Ivan Rodriguez leading off against Chris Tillman, creating a real interesting matchup here. Tillman has allowed runners in each inning, but no runs as Ivan Rodriguez fouls it off. So Coach Rodriguez, 1999 AL MVP, 13 Gold Gloves, and long time in the American League. A lot of games here. 297 career batting average at Camden Yards. Ivan Rodriguez made his Major League debut on June 20th, 1991. Chris Tillman on that day was 3 years old and 2 months. Chris was born on April 15th of 1988. So one of those real intriguing Major League Baseball matchups. You got a guy headed to the Hall of Fame at the plate and a youngster trying to establish himself at the big league level on the mound. Counts towards third. That is a foul ball. Reynolds went down to his knees, and the ball ricocheted off his glove.
And on that day in 1991, Gino Petralli, the Rangers catcher, was hurt. So Pudge came up just for a short time. He had to catch Kevin Brown his first big league game. He said he sat in on the pregame meeting with Kevin Brown. They were going over hitters. At that time, he didn't understand a whole lot of English. So he just said, I'm going to go back there and put down fingers. He caught a great game from Kevin Brown that night. Guess who he caught his second night? Nolan Ryan. He caught Nolan Ryan into a shutout.
Line to Luke Scott for the out, one away.
And Nolan Ryan went to management and said, I want that guy catching every single one of my starts the rest of my career here. And as we know, the rest is history.
Well, that's not a bad endorsement.
Yeah, you got Nolan Ryan going to the owner saying, hey, this guy's catching my games the rest of my career here. Guess what? You're in the big leagues for 20-plus years after that.
Now, Tillman getting some help from his defense. That ball was hit hard. Here's Alex Cora getting a start at third base today. And a little low, 1-0. The Orioles had runners at second and third in the bottom of the second. The Nationals had Desmond at second base in the first, but he was left stranded. Orioles and Nats in the rubber game of this three-game series. This is the fifth time this year the Orioles are playing in a rubber game. They have won 2 and lost 2.
Well, the rubber track just cost them a run.
Yep. There's a strike taken. So 2-2 on Alex Cora, batting with 1 out, none on. And it's low, ball 3, so another 3-2 count in this game.
The pitch count for Chris Tillman may be as much an enemy as the Nationals are. 43 already thrown, not really through the third.
And the payoff pitch is high, ball 4, and there's a 1-out walk. The first walk allowed by Tillman.
Let's go back to the first inning and check out that bunt from Roger Bernardina again. Let's check out where his foot is. It was definitely out of the box. I don't know if it was on home plate or in front of home plate. But if you check it out right here, his foot is very close. And I don't think that's what Jim Riggleman was arguing about. He was arguing about if you're going to make that call and you can see all of that stuff, it's not a matter of if you got it right or not. I think Jim Riggleman was arguing, how did you see that? And I'm wondering if Buck Showalter didn't go up to the plate while they were handing out lineup cards before the game and say, you know what, we've been watching film on Bernardina. He has a tendency to step across home plate on his bunts, because I've seen him do it a couple of times this year. And I would hope that if I was Roger Bernardina, my manager would argue like that for me if I did the same thing. And that's having your players back.
Absolutely. And Jim Riggleman is a good manager. And without a doubt, he's going to argue for his players as Bernardino swings through it. It's an interesting thought. I don't think Buck, maybe the first game of the series, brings out the lineup card, but I don't think he brings it out after game one. I'm curious who brought it out today.
Oh, maybe he said
it might have been something coming into this series that you're aware of. That's where you have advanced scouts for all these sort of tendencies. Some of them never, come to fruition. The opportunity.
High fly ball to right. Did he get enough? Back on it is Markakis near the wall. It is off the scoreboard and in play. Heading to third base is Cora, and on at second base with a double is Bernardino. Just didn't get the good wood to get it over the scoreboard, and it bangs off the scoreboard. Markakis plays the carom, and it's a double.
Now you can see Markakis drift back with this. The 1-1 pitch up middle of the plate. A lazy high fly ball right off the 405. Markakis plays it perfectly, barehanding it.
Well, he didn't step on home plate on that one. He stepped on a fastball, but great play by Nick Markakis.
I would still appeal home plate and see if he stepped on it.
Great play by Markakis, deking Alex Cora. He cruised back on that ball like he had a chance. You didn't know if it was going to carry off the scoreboard or into his glove. Good deke play right there. Alex Cora couldn't commit with only one out. So Nick Markakis has a chance to save the Orioles a run just by a little deke play out in right field.
Like a safety squeeze. No real break from third base.
The way Cora just looked down at Desmond, it looked like maybe somebody might have missed a sign.
I'm not really sure. There's no break at third base and just kind of bunts through it. Again, more of a safety squeeze of bunting on your own.
I would love to see a guy that just hit a double in the gap his first time up. Maybe try to think about doing that again.
And you really want to think about driving runs in, not really getting on yourself. But
you're feeling good. You got a knock off a guy,
Absolutely.
right? You're probably seeing the ball off him pretty good. But don't give an out right here. Go ahead and let it fly.
Check swing, appeal to first. He did not go. Jerry Davis said he checked in time.
All right, let's check it out. You make the call. Did he go?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
2 out of 3. No. Yes, he did.
Yes, you did. Stirring it up over there.
No, I was just, I didn't think I needed to be redundant.
I agree. We went. And just for the record, and close the door on the Bernardino thing, I would have said the same thing if it was an Orioles player. I mean, it's just one of those things where you don't look for it, you don't see it called ever. It's like a double play. If a guy's on the base for a double play, or he's in the neighborhood, it's kind of the same sort of theory.
See, and from my perspective, where I'm coming from, I wish they would call more of what's in the rule book. It's like the strike zone. Go look at the little picture in there. When's the last time that was the strike zone, right?
Right.
But your point about calling it both ways, that should be number one. And down on strikes is Desmond. A huge out for Chris Tillman. 2 men down.
Well, made some big pitches when he needed to with Desmond. Gave him strike one, and after that, he started to paint the outside corner. Good cut fastball. We haven't seen that pitch very often.
And today's Exmo brought to you by the Volkswagen Going, Gone event. Great deals are here, but not for long. Visit VWDealer.com. So Tillman now needs to get Lance Nix to get out of it. Nix trying to get a 2-out base hit for the Nats.
And this is what Tillman did so well in Boston. He was always on the tightrope, but able to get off somehow.
Deep but foul. And it's 0-1. Well, gather up your group and enjoy Oriole Park's newest fan destination, the Miller Lite Flight Deck. For one low price, you enjoy a fun, casual atmosphere, bar-like seating, and great view of the game. Everybody in the group gets a food and beverage voucher to use anywhere in the ballpark. Individual tickets are available for select games. For more on the Miller Lite Flight Deck, 888-848-BIRD, or just get online at Orioles.com. 0-1 breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2. Good call there, Mike.
Yeah, and Tillman's had the best breaking ball, I think, that we've seen him have. Maybe this year. His go-to pitch usually against left-handers, and he's handled them well. Just a 257, 1 home run. Is that straight changeup?
And maybe a bounce one right here after establishing one for a strike. You throw one even shorter. It's hard to lay off as a hitter.
And the 0-2, and he got him. Nick swings through it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tillman, and he gets out of the inning. Bob Carpenter joins the gang when we get back. No score.
Your MLB All-Star ballot and enter to win a trip to the All-Star game. Compliments of Scott's. Not sure I know what to do with a scoreless game. That has not been the case here, as these two guys have accused me of giving up way too many runs this weekend.
We were just saying before you came in, here comes Mr. Offense. But you're good. You're good for both sides.
I have been fair to both sides, Mike.
I totally agree.
Robert Andino, bottom of the third underway with a foul ball. Andino 1 for 5 with an RBI in the series. Orioles had him in the leadoff spot yesterday. He drove a run home with a 7th inning double. Jordan Zimmermann, a 28-pitch second inning. Threw that slider on 3-2 to Luke Scott. Well, Luke Scott was a left-handed batter. And he threw one to Freddie Freeman down in Atlanta that turned out to be very costly. There's another slide piece that's a little bit outside, 2-1.
Yeah, Zimmerman's only been over 100 pitches on 2 of his starts. The others somewhere between 85 and 95 pitches seem to be the limit.
Yeah, and that's by design. Believe me, Mike, they'd love to see him throw 95 pitches and get 7 innings. But he's a power guy. I mean, you know, FP and I talked about this earlier in the year. There were times in his early starts he was doing a lot of nibbling. And we were looking forward to seeing him challenge people more. At times he does, at times he doesn't. Fastball up and fouled back.
And anytime you have plus stuff as a pitcher, you're going to see a lot of foul balls. I mean, that's a sign that you have good stuff. And you know, every 5th day when Jordan Zimmermann takes the mound, you see a lot of foul balls. What do foul balls do? They run the pitch count up. It doesn't allow you to get deep into baseball games. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah, I got a power fastball, but sometimes I can't get deep into games with that pitch.
There's a slider, and that ball's fouled off.
Yeah, probably a perfect example of the last couple of swings from Andino. Just getting enough to stay alive. Makes the hitter very defensive. But that's really your goal, and it's probably the reason he gives up so few home runs, too, is the hitters are defensive against overpowering stuff.
You know, Jordan Zimmermann reminds me a lot of a young Matt Cain. They had very similar deliveries, very similar arm angles and release points. Demeanor, everything about him is very, very similar. And it took Matt Cain 2 or 3 years as a major league pitcher to realize, hey, you know, strikeouts are overrated. Hit your spot, maybe subtract from your fastball a little bit and get some first pitch outs, and you get deeper into ball games and qualify for more decisions.
That took a couple of years with losing records for Matt Cain as well. Three-two pitch. He goes with the fastball and strikes him out. So he has struck out the number 1 hitter for the Orioles and now the number 9 man.
A little 3-2 challenge fastball. Here it is, hit it.
Yeah, nothing fancy here. Belt high right down the middle. Shows you how good his stuff is. Late moving fastball just by Andino.
I think the thing that'll serve Jordan well is that he is very calm. You know, he's not that emotional on the mound. We know he's a competitor, but he doesn't go stomping around when things go badly. He has pretty much the same demeanor all the time, no matter how things are going for him. And I think that'll serve him well. He just overpowers PA. Desmond has to hurry, and he makes the play quickly for the second out. So the pitchers are in control, even though the pitch counts are mounting here. Oriole Park at Camden Yards on a Sunday afternoon, and our game flow brought to you by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. Lots of folks relaxing responsibly here today. Adam Jones will be next. So understand there are 11,000 little leaguers in the ballpark today. That was quite a parade.
I was going to say around 10 o'clock. I believe it. I thought there was many more than that.
Candy sales are up here.
And a breaking ball to Jones, who fouled out to Michael Morse at first. Adam Jones in the series, 3 for 9 with an RBI. 1 for 4 with a ribby, career against Zimmermann. And if the hitters tell you how you're throwing on the fastball, they're pretty tardy right now.
If you're reading the bat, a number of the Oriole hitters have been behind. Adam Jones falling off the first base side.
Well, that's the thing that got me about the 3-2 slider to Luke Scott. It didn't do any damage. They didn't end up scoring a run, but he just was late on a fastball on the outer half of the plate, and then you go 3-2 slider for a ball. I understand the thinking process. He buried the 2-2 fastball right where he wanted it to Luke Scott. Didn't get the call, so maybe you're thinking I can't repeat and go back in there. I think it's just a matter of Jordan Zimmerman having a lot of confidence in that heater.
Jones turns on one, and Cora picks it cleanly. That's a good play by a veteran third baseman. There they are, the Nats in the ballpark in more ways than one. And thanks to the O's for the high fives. Brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By Acura. Acura Advance. And by your local Ford dealers. Overcast day, quite muggy. Ball carrying here at the yard. And we go to the middle innings. Worth, Ramos, and Morse for the Nationals. By the way, the National League through 2 days of Interleague. 17-11 after an 8-6 Saturday. And Worth will turn on one and hook it down into the left field corner. It'll hit the wall at the 333 mark and stay in. And Jason Worth is now 5 out of 10 in this series. FP, this might be the best sustained hitting over a 3-day period the Nats have seen from Worth this year.
Yeah, we like upright Jason Worth. He hits mistakes that way. He can get on top of the high off-speed pitch. And you look right here, every once in a while, usually the third game of the series, you'll see Jason Worth go up there and ambush somebody on a first pitch. He did it right there. The leadoff double for the Nats. Now it's up to Wilson Ramos to get him over to third base.
Yeah, there was some criticism first month of the season for too many pitches taken. He was batting in the number 2 hole, then third, and now fourth. And here's Ramos, robbed of at least a double on a great play by Nick Markakis, first time. Ramos has had a good series, 3 for 8 with a homer, 3 RBIs, scored a team record 5 runs here on Friday night.
He had a good series Friday night.
He had a good month Friday night for me. I'm taking Friday night to arbitration.
And Ramos hanging in there, hitting around 280. We knew he wouldn't hit 360 like he did the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. He had a cooling off period, but he's been fairly consistent. He just gives away the count there by swinging at what would have easily been ball 3.
Well, he's looking for a ball outer third that he can drive to right center field, so his eyes lit up when he saw that ball away from him. Maybe a little higher than he would have liked it, but as a hitter right now, you're looking for a ball out over the plate that you can drive the other way.
Which he did the first time. That was a high changeup, and he hit it off to the right side.
Hey, Mike, this is the cat and mouse game that you and I were talking about off the air the other day that you miss as a pitcher. You got a runner on second base, nobody out. As a hitter, you're looking for something to move the runner. As a pitcher, you're trying to throw something to keep him from moving the runner to third base.
Yeah, it's that game within a game, and certainly that last pitch, a changeup after seeing Ramos obviously trying to hit the ball to right field, threw something off speed to try to get him to roll over and maybe get a ground ball to shortstop. And then a breaking ball. Again, another pitch designed to have the hitter out in front.
For a young hitter, Ramos seems to identify that slider low and away pretty well. Haven't seen him strike out that much on that pitch from a right-hander. Now he's worked the count full. And he'll take that slider way outside. First and second, nobody out. Second walk issued by Tillman, who had 15 in 39 innings coming in. Expect great things for families at the ballpark in Washington with the Harris Teeter Family Fun Pack. Nats are home with the Padres next weekend, and on Saturday and Sunday an all-inclusive offer starts at $14 with a ticket for the game. Hot dog, chips, and a Coke. Nationals.com/family. Some restrictions apply. And this is not a guy who's going up usually to bunt.
Not in this ballpark, not on a day game.
Michael Morse has seen 2 pitches today. He singled on the first one and just fouled that one off.
He gave it the big yucca-do swing right there. He was thinking about a 3-run tater and putting his team up.
Yucca-do?
Yeah, that's the one where you go from both cheeks and let it fly.
Okay. I think I heard Fred Flintstone take a swing, a yucca-do swing one day.
That's it.
There's a slider away and a good pitch, 0-2. First time Tillman sees the Nationals. Jordan Zimmerman seeing the Orioles for the second time. Talked to John Lannon after the ballgame yesterday. When he pitches against Baltimore, he feels like he's pitching against somebody in the National League. He and the O's and Guthrie have seen each other so much over the 5 years. Five years now, 6 of interleague play between these two.
I never understood as a hitter what the 0-2 fastball over my head, what purpose that served.
For me, it's not a pitch that I'm certainly crazy about. I think it's, if you consider it a waste pitch, to me, that's exactly what it is. You want to throw the pitch with a purpose. To me, low and away is a better avenue.
That's really close, and Tillman doesn't get the call.
But Tillman is really not a sinker ball or the bottom of the strike zone type. He's more of a fly ball pitcher.
And it's all I saw, Mike, was an easy take. You're up there 0-2, you're battling, you're trying to fight off borderline pitches, and a pitcher would throw one over my head 0-2, and I would say thanks, because that was an easy decision for me. I have anything to think about.
2-2 now, and Morris gets one in the middle of the plate, but he skies it to right. The runners will have to hold as Markakis is under it for the first out. Lexus of Towson, league leaders. Lexus of Towson, Baltimore's #1 Lexus dealer, who invites you to come see why they're #1 in triples. Jose Reyes is healthy again. He's doing a great job leading off for the Mets. Victorino, the dangerous Philly, and now Danny Espinosa with a triple in this series. That Starlin Castro is a good young-looking player for the Cubs, too. So, 1 out, 2 on, and Danny steps in this series 4 for 9 with a homer, 5 RBIs, all of those Friday night.
That's really seemed to have gotten the attention of both Wieters and Tillman. The mound visit. How do they want to work him in this situation? 1 out and 2 men on.
And that could have also been, hey, Jason Worth has been standing on second base for a lot of pitches. Do you want to switch up the signs?
Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Wieters.
Anytime you have a wily veteran on second base and he sees about 10, 12 pitches, maybe he's picking up sequence. So a lot of times you'll see catchers go out and talk to their pitcher. Hey, are you confident in what we've got going right here? Do you want to switch up the sign? Do you want to go first sign after 2, first sign, last sign? Whatever you want to go with, maybe you change it up a little bit.
Well, especially since he's thrown a lot of breaking balls, that's probably the one pitch that the catcher won't give with location. But you're right. If you've been out there for a while, you could probably pick up when the breaking ball was going to come. You probably wouldn't be able to tell whether it's a curveball or a slider, but you'd know it would be something off speed. And hitters have a way of doing it, too. If you're giving location, they can lean towards third, would be away from a left-hander, leaning back towards second, would be into a left-hander. So but you're right. When a runner out of second base more or less plants himself, I mean, he's watching those signs right along with the pitcher. And the catcher has that sense, too. He'll peek right out at shortstop.
Target away, and that's a fastball outside, 2-1.
Or he could have just went out there and said, hey, this guy's...
Or we could be getting way too deep. He just wanted to change the baseball.
Hey, Chris, this guy's good. All right.
Yeah, remember what we said in the pregame meeting.
That's a good idea. The breaking ball by Espinosa now gets a hitter's count. Right-handed pitchers against left-handed hitters in this ballpark, 3-1, can be very dangerous.
Yeah, you'd like to stay away from these counts, but it's something that Chris Tillman, we've seen, has been in these type of counts most of the year. I mean, he's not a guy who gets ahead of you and finishes you off. 2-1 breaking balls. We've seen 3-2 breaking balls.
What are you going with right here?
Really haven't seen his changeup. You think he's going away.
He'll take a little bit off and get the inside corner with it.
Yeah, straight chin. Again, he hasn't featured that many this afternoon. That's been his big pitch to the left-handers, but to be able to drop one in there, 3-1.
And from a hitter standpoint, that's a good take. That's not something you want to offer at when you're heading the count 3-1. So good job of pitch recognition from Danny Espinosa in taking that pitch.
And here's the battler Espinosa up to his old tricks again.
You see how short that swing is right there? He's taken a lot out of his swing with 2 strikes, and I've just seen it recently, just as recently as this series.
Well, and it's been talked about for a couple of weeks, FP, and finally he's been able to find a way to do it.
A nice, tight, short little 2-strike hack he's got going right now, and that'll serve him well the rest of this season if he stays with that approach.
2 on, 1 out, another payoff pitch. Dangerously lined into the seats. Everybody comes up applauding and smiling. When you're on the offside, bring your glove to the ballpark.
Always bring your glove to the ballpark.
Nice going, buddy.
Go to a big league game. Bring your picker.
Yeah.
See, he's got his picker. He's got his picker. She's got her picker. Everybody's got their glove. It's nice.
3-2 again. Espinosa gets hit by a lot of pitches, but usually they're not that far inside. And the bases are loaded with 1 out, with Pudge Rodriguez coming in.
This is so far inside that it's outside. And that's outside Danny Espinosa's body. He'll gladly wear one for the team and set the stage for Pudge Rodriguez, who hit a screaming line drive to first base his first time up.
Again, breaking balls in a 3-2 count. Very difficult way to pitch. Usually leads to a high pitch count. That's pitch 74. I mean, he was 3/4 of the way to his allotment, and we're just here in the 3rd inning.
Danny Espinosa hit by a pitch, by the way, for the 8th time this year. He's one of the major league leaders.
I think he's the National League leader at the moment. I'm trying to figure out why. Is it because they pitch him in so much? Is that
he just doesn't get out of the way fast? Yeah, something he learned at Long Beach State.
Just stand there, yeah.
You get on base any way you can. There's no dodgeball when you're standing in the batter's box. It's something I learned in college, and I got hit by a lot of pitches in my major league career. You just get in this habit to where you've done it your whole life. The ball's coming at you. It's a way to get on first base. It's a way to score runs. It's a way to help your team win a baseball game.
Yeah, that was 8. Next closest guys in the league, Ben Francisco, Prince Fielder, Reed Johnson, and Marlon Byrd, who had a nasty one last night, have each been hit 5 times. So here's Pudge Rodriguez. Hit the ball extremely hard. Luke Scott picked it off first time up. Fastball by him. Rodriguez has made great use of his hits this year. He has 15 hits and 14 RBIs. Batting what you would call a very heavy .231 coming into the game. He's got to stay on the ball, because when Pudge in these situations gets something inside and tries to do something with it, he hits into a lot of double plays.
I said to me, it looked like he pulled off that last pitch. I would be encouraged to go back outside and stay away from him.
Target is in. He inside outs the ball down the right field line, over by the tarp. Markakis is there, tagging his Worth, and he's going to go back. That's an outfielder with 4 assists on the year, 2 outs.
Okay, with the Oriole outfielders, most of the assists they get are at the plate. Watching the third base coach held him up and said no. Well, not as deep as they would certainly like, and Markakis sensing a short hop pick by Weeder to the plate.
Nick Markakis is a baseball player. The more I watch this guy play, the more I love him. Everything he does, what I mean by baseball player, he comes to play every single day. He does everything right. His swing is sweet, the way he plays right field, the way he went over to that baseball. If you've ever made that play before, when you're running full speed to make a catch, your head is bouncing everywhere. Then you have to set your feet and make a good throw on the run. That was very impressive. And the reason why Jason Worth came down the line, he wanted to see the ball out of Markakis' hand. As a guy on third base in that situation, you tag up, you go as far as you can, and if you see the catcher start to leave the box, you know the throw's offline, you just keep going.
Everybody did everything right. The right fielder, the runner, and the catcher. Here's Alex Cora. On the fastball, Tillman got the borderline strike. Now he drops in that one, and he's got Alex Cora 0-2. Cora walked his first time today. 1 for 1 in this series. 4 RBIs on the year, and there's a groundswell of noise now from the big crowd with the bases loaded, 2 outs.
That's how Chris Tillman likes to pitch, breaking balls early and maybe fastballs late if he's ahead.
Washington has already stranded 3 runners today.
Said he's had a lot of base runs. He's last started against the Red Sox, only had 1, 2, 3 innings. So he's become very accustomed to pitching out of the stretch. And Buck Showalter said he said he is fearless.
20 pitches per inning, the average right now, Mike.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's a good take by Cora, who stands only. Well, he's listed at 6 foot, and we all think that's a little generous. High fastball.
And for a left-hander, that's right in your eyes. A lot of times you'll see guys offer at that. So you're right, partner. Good take. Way to lay off that pitch. Buy yourself another chance.
Convergence Technology, Citric with a pitch track. Call the experts or go to convergencetech.us. Breaking ball right up the middle, off the pitcher. Deflects, dropped by Reynolds on the bare hand. Washington leads 1-0. Infield hit by Alex Cora. If that ball goes through, it would probably be 2-0.
Hey, Nats will take a run any way they can get it. Alex Cora with another great at-bat. How many clutch at-bats has this guy had this year? When you talk about Ian Desmond in the third not getting it done, Nixie didn't get it done in the third inning, Pudge with a pop-up, what does Alex Cora do? He picks up all 3 of those guys with one swing of the bat. Nats on the board 1-0. Mark Reynolds had time right there, but did you see the side spin action?
Absolutely.
On that baseball? Watch this ball hit. It's spinning so hard that it just kicked straight right to Reynolds. Say that 10 times fast, and he couldn't make the play.
Here's Bernardina now. Bases still loaded. By the way, Alex Cora now batting right around .340 for the month of May. Bernardina takes the breaking ball, and now this inning will go on even longer. Orioles bullpen, Jeremy Accardo.
And the same thing goes for Alex Cora that I just said for Nick Markakis. Baseball player. Guy finds a way to get the job done every time he starts.
Changeup, 2-0. Bernardina came about a foot or 2 away from a homer off the scoreboard last time. Hit his first homer of the year here Friday night. He gets under this one. Markakis feeling his way along the track and catching it right at the end of the scoreboard, right where the wall gets a whole lot shorter. Washington has left 6 runners tonight. Bernardina, a foot or 2 from a grand slam. Matt Wieters for the Orioles, bottom of the 4th inning. Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races, and Slots, American League leaders with hits since the 14th of May. Nobody hotter than Vlad. 7 consecutive multi-hit games. He's 5th in the league overall with 54 hits. And he's up right after Markakis here. Action-packed table games, red-hot slots. Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races. That's a busted bat. Michael Morse waiting for it. And to the pitcher for the first out.
And the more Michael Morse plays first base, he'll realize just run over and step on the base right there where you don't have to exchange the baseball. But you got to give him a little bit of credit. He hasn't been over there a whole lot this season.
That was probably the smile on Zimmerman's face.
He said, hey, we did it in spring training. Why not do it now? Here's Vlad. 18 multi-hit games on the year, 3rd in the American League overall. Hit the ball hard right out to Roger Bernardino in center field, first time up. First pitch breaking ball in there. Jordan Zimmerman, 56 pitches, 35 strikes, his first 3 innings. On the fastball, this one out to right center. He didn't get it. Bernardino will. 2 outs. Nationals and the Padres Friday night, frosty mud night. First pitch 7:05. It's presented by Miller Lite for the first 10,000 fans, 21 and older. Tickets starting at $10. Nationals.com/tickets. Bases empty, 2 outs, and Matt Wieters the hitter. Bouncing ball to Espinosa first time. Jordan Zimmerman had a 15-pitch 3rd inning, 41 before that, and 13 in the first. And he at least has the possibility of a quick frame here. Always interesting to see how a young pitcher reacts when he gets a lead. I tell you, is it just me, or has the temperature gone down about 8 degrees here in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, there's some weather brewing.
And the lights are on.
They have taken effect here. It's been breezy all day, blowing in from left center. And a 1-2 is outside. Oh, good slider. Kept it down. Gets us by far the quickest inning of the day. Desmond Nixon Worth coming up. It's Washington. History. Now in 62, Roger Maris intentionally walked 4 times. 61 homers the year before. That'll do that to a guy. In 68, the Cubs thought they would pitch to Willie Stargell, and they paid the price. And last year, Matt Stairs, homering for the Padres, his 11th Major League team. It's brought to you by Verizon Fios, a network ahead. To learn more, visit Verizon.com/getFios. And I know his old roommate, F.P. Santangelo, and I are looking forward to him homering for his 12th Major League team sometime soon.
Look at, he's even teaching guys how to tie their shoes on the bench.
Yeah,
here,
don't
Danny.
tie them together.
Over, under, bunny ear.
Yeah. Velcro. Where's the Velcro shoes?
Come on, this is my 17th team. I know how to tie a shoe. Listen to me.
Here's Ian Desmond, double and a strikeout today. And the breaking ball that has given him problems this year, that one is in the dirt. And the 5th inning's underway. Desmond, though, having a good weekend. He's 5 out of 12. We've seen him go to right center for a couple of hits. Got jammed by a fastball, and he pops it up to the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. Nationals will be in his old home tomorrow night, Milwaukee. Nats against the Brew Crew, Tom Gorzolani and Giovanni Gallardo tomorrow night. Livan Hernandez, Chris Narveson Tuesday night. Jason Marquis, Zach Greinke. We'll see him for the first time when he starts on that game Wednesday. And of course, you're always dealing with Prince and Ryan Braun in the middle of that lineup. 2 of the best pure hitters in the National League. They're 3.5 back of St. Louis in the Central right now, and they're playing the Rockies at home this weekend. Lance Nix right off the end of the bat. Falling, and right in front of Adam Jones. Tough play for a center fielder. The big, strong guy takes that big swing.
You're exactly right. It's all the big swing by Lance Nix. You watch Adam Jones in center. First step is a drop step back. But a difficult read when you saw that pitch towards the fat part of the bat.
And Mike, the way the ball's been carrying this weekend, you cannot fault an outfielder for that play.
No.
And that, folks, from a hitter's standpoint, is a beautiful thing.
That's what you just say from the dugout. He hit a thing.
That's a thing. And I'm sure, Mike, you don't agree with that, because you make a good pitch right there. And
it wasn't my favorite play. No.
Nationals.
I like the line out better.
Washington out hitting the Orioles now 6-1. Here's Worth.
You used to like a look in the opponent's dugout.
Just let him hit a bullet. Oh yeah.
See guys breaking their helmets against the bat rack.
That would be it. And just tell them if you hit 300, you're still going to break 7 out of 10 helmets.
Well, I took care of that. I broke. Take the over on helmets that I broke in my career. It's always the helmet's fault.
You would not believe how many headsets we've had to replace already.
How things change when you go from the field to the booth.
And a breaking ball low and away, and now Jason Worth, after swinging at the first pitch and doubling last time, has taken a couple here. He's looking as hitterish as he has all year. Got that batting average up to 250, by the way, and that, for the way the Nats started, that's a pretty good looking number right now. A little tapper on a changeup.
Yeah, so far, Chris Tillman is featuring less than to Jason Worth. Last time up, big sweeping breaking ball double. Now changeup and straight changeups, curveballs.
I mean, did you think when you saw leg kick guys, you could go soft on them? Whenever you see,
I knew it's a timing issue. Yeah, I tried to change speeds. I don't know if I just went off speed, but try to add and subtract.
That's a fastball at the knees. 2-2.
Yeah, I didn't like to see hitters that lifted their leg when I lifted. It was the same thing. It was, we're timing each other.
Well, for me, and I was a leg kick guy, it used to be more difficult when the pitcher was in the stretch because the ball was on me a lot more quick. I had to start my leg kick sooner because I didn't have the windup to time it.
Runner goes on a 2-2, and Worth will shoot it to the upper deck on the right side. Jim Riggleman and now John McLaren running the ball club today. When they have a lead, very, very aggressive with base runners. And, of course, these are two guys been together for a while. McLaren, Riggleman, some Seattle connections in their backgrounds. John McLaren has managed at the major league level.
Now, when I played for the Toronto Blue Jays in the early 90s, he was the third base coach.
Worth got jammed down to third. Reynolds goes to second, and he got Lance Nix. If Nix is running on that ball, that's not a force out. 2 outs, and Worth will be at first base. Let's have a look at our AT&T Mobility Trivia fact. Henry Rodriguez, the second player with that name to play for the Expos Nationals franchise, and the other one was a pretty good power hitter.
Oh, Henry. Henry Rodriguez, teammate of mine in Montreal. Every time he hit a home run, they'd throw a Oh Henry bar on the baseball field. It delayed the game about 15-20 minutes while the grounds crew picked up candy bars off the AstroTurf.
If they name a candy bar after this guy, you're going to have to eat it real fast because you have very little reaction time.
It'll be called the Bullet.
Ramos pulls one left side. Reynolds to his left. Side armor over to Luke Scott. Washington gone. They've stranded 7 base runners. Halfway through the 5th, Scott will lead off in a 1-0. This Washington organization is all about developing young talent.
We're extremely pleased with the way that our minor league system has taken shape. It's in direct credit goes to Roy Clark, Chris Klein, Doug Harrison, our scouting and player development system we have in place here. We've put a big impetus on that when I took over here as the general manager, and I think we're starting to see the fruits of the player development system now. And I think that the next there's going to be several more waves of good players coming.
Over the last 3 years, the Nationals have paid $8 million, $5 million, and over $11 million in draft money. And when you finish last, you can do some of that and pick guys like Steven Strasburg, Bryce Harper. Other prospects are already here in the major leagues. Ian Desmond, an organization guy drafted years ago as a young guy out of Sarasota by Montreal.
Oh, it's not only about who they picked, it's how they run the system, the minor league system. I went over there during spring training to camp, and I've never seen a minor league system run better than the one the Nationals have going right now.
Backdoor breaking ball from Zimmerman, starting to get some quicker outs now. And Luke Scott will ground out to Danny Espinosa. Minor league report brought to you by PNC for the Achiever in you. Chris Marrero, a #1 pick from several years ago. He's at AAA this year. A lot of RBIs, hitting well. And then Tyler Townsend, a first baseman at A ball for the O's in Frederick. Pretty good numbers as well. Some pop in that bat. 7 home runs.
7 home runs early in the year.
But Mike, our fans in Washington, and it's a city starving for a winning baseball team after the Senators were gone and baseball gone all those years. Sometimes it's still hard to, and you know this because you were a GM, hard to convince people how very low this organization was when Major League Baseball put no money into the minor leagues at all. How do you come back from that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do like the fact, too, that Mike Rizzo giving the credit to the scouts and the professional scouts in that matter for the development waves that they feel like they have coming. So you don't reap those benefits till 4 or 5 years after the draft.
And because they've been able to pick first, they've been able to replenish that pretty quick.
Well, we talk about development. What kind of development? How are you developing the players? And based on my experiences and what I've seen at the minor league level here, they're showing guys how to play the game the right way, run every ball out, break up double plays. They emphasize someday winning the National League East. They talk about it openly in minor league camp. They talk about it openly during the minor league season. That's how you change the atmosphere. That's how you change the attitude of a franchise. With your youngest players, you emphasize winning baseball.
As I say, you play to win is how you do it. You don't do it by the individual prospect.
And that's exactly what the Nationals minor league system does.
If you breed winning, and certainly at all levels, when you get to the major leagues, it becomes the norm, not the exception.
Well, if you breed development, all of a sudden you get a guy that hit third his whole career in the minor leagues. He's hitting seventh in the big leagues. He doesn't know how to get a runner over to third base with nobody out.
Or being asked to bunt, you know.
No idea how to do any of that stuff. But if he's played winning baseball, it's been emphasized his whole minor league career. Guess what? You get to the big leagues, you just fit right in, and you do all the same things you did at the minor league level, and it translates to, 9 guys pulling for each other, knowing how to win a baseball game.
Pretty good battle here. Mark Reynolds has been all over the bases this weekend. 3 hits, 3 walks. He's doubled here today. And another 3-2 from Zimmerman. Front door slider. He fouls it off his foot. Jordan Zimmerman drafted, as Jim said earlier, second round back in 2007 out of a Division III school. And he really opened eyes when he pitched in a league called the Northwoods League. I guess you got to take an axe and some other tools with you to find those ball games.
Mosquito repellent would be good.
Yeah. But he was a multi-sport kid, football, basketball, baseball in Auburndale, Wisconsin. He's going to get the corner on the fastball. Reynolds is not going to like it. But Mike Flanagan, when it's the 6th inning and you're pitching well, you like calls like this.
Yeah, you start getting the call leading off the inning, tries to paint the outside corner, gets the call right to the glove.
But look at the presentation by Pudge Rodriguez. That's what gets the call. Just a little glove turn right there. Maybe a ball, maybe a strike.
Borderline. But it is a pitcher's pitch.
2 outs, bases empty, and here's J.J. Hardy. By the way, the last Oriole to reach base was Reynolds with that double back in the 2nd. That ball hammered to center. Bernardina back at the wall. He's got it with a one-hander and then slams right off the sign. Keeping the ball in the ballpark barely. Both of these pitchers today. Giovanni Gallardo, that's tomorrow night. Mass in HD, 7:30, Nats Extra. Presented by your local Ford dealer. Game coverage at 8. And after a day off, the O's and the Royals Tuesday. 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Verizon 4G LTE. Game at 7. All the maximum access you need to the Nationals and the Orioles right here on Masson HD. 29-year-old Jeremy Accardo 5 games for Toronto last year. Orioles have him in their bullpen now, and he shares something in common with someone in this booth.
I coached him in A ball in San Jose. It was nice to catch up with Jeremy today before the game. One of my favorite kids I ever coached. He had an electric fastball touching 100 back in those days. It's nice to see him in the big show. It's nice to see him here in Baltimore.
He's got 3+ quality pitches. Fastball 90-92. Got the loss in that 15-inning game against the Yankees. Little unfair. Had pitched a couple of shutout innings in that to get to the 15th. First 2 men got on, and then Mike Gonzalez unable to get Cano out. So we get 2 runs charged to Ricardo and the loss in that. So a tough loss.
Michael Morse, Danny Espinosa, and Pudge Rodriguez for Washington, 6th inning. Michael Morse is 1 for 2 with a base hit to left, fly ball to right. 1-0 Nationals on the RBI infield hit off Chris Tillman, literally. Back in the 4th inning, Tillman throws 97 pitches in 5 innings. A run on 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 4. Morse will lash one to right field. That one slicing away from Markakis. Michael Morse, a very intelligent base running play to stay right where he is at first base.
And a very good defensive play once again by Markakis to keep Morse at first base.
Potomac Nationals have their charity golf tournament coming up Thursday, May 26th. Join some of their players, some of the Big Nats front office personnel down at Old Hickory in Woodbridge. Go to their website, PotomacNationals.com, or call 703-590-2311. Now the hits are Washington 7, Baltimore 1. Danny Espinosa, 0 for 1, double play strikeout, and hit by a pitch in the 4th. Nationals did some hitting and running, at least attempting to, with this hitter and this runner last time up. Michael Morse, as FP said, has a knee that's been bugging him for a couple of weeks. So the count will dictate what happens here. And it's in the hitter's favor. Ball 1 just outside.
Yeah, one of those cat and mouse that we talked about, sort of the game within the game with a hole at first base now with a runner on. You see Wieters and Ricardo trying to stay away, prevent from pulling the ball through that hole.
That hole's a trap door, Mike. You try to hit that hole as a hitter, next thing you know, you're 4-6-3 all day long.
It's 2-0.
There was times when I went up there and I would see the second baseman shading me opposite, maybe up the middle. First baseman holding the runner on. You got the whole right side of the infield, and you're thinking, oh, just give me something middle in that I can roll over on. Next thing you know, 4-6-3 double play. You're grabbing your glove and you're running out to your position.
Espinosa was all over a 2-0 pitch. 93, he was late for it.
Everything away so far.
Well, this will be interesting. As we mentioned, whether it's Riggleman or McLaren, Nationals with any kind of lead, in this case 1-0. Very frisky with base runners.
And this would be the traditional running count.
He hits it hard to left center. That is run down by Felix P.A. Great range by the left fielder and the right fielder on display here today.
A great jump by Felix P.A. He was in full stride as soon as the ball left the bat. And this is obviously their best defensive outfield when P.A. is in left with Jones and Markakis. Each of those outfielders have thrown out a runner at the plate this year. Actually, P.A. was the first one of the year.
That great jump by P.A. Good swing again by Danny Espinosa, finding the barrel, keeping his hands inside the baseball, driving it the other way.
Here's Pudge. He's gone the other way twice. Lined out hard to Scott, hit that foul ball, run down by Markakis. Clay Rapata up for the Orioles. Touch for a run on 2 hits and an inning and a third here on Friday night. Fastball hit the other way. Pudge will have to hurry to beat this one out, and he will. Turned pretty well by the Orioles as Andino had quite a way to go to his left.
You know, the reason Pudge beats this out is it's a nice play by Andino to get to the baseball, but watch the feed. Just this little bit by Hardy going across there to catch the baseball allows Pudge to be safe. When the game moves so fast at the highest level, just a little throw like that that's just a little behind the shortstop allows Pudge to be safe. So a nice play getting to it. Pretty good feed, but you almost had to be perfect right there to turn the double play.
And that guy running down the first baseline, by the way, is 39 years young. Here's Cora with a walk and a base hit, the difference in the game right now. He'll look that fastball in. It's a good one at the knees. And quickly 0-2.
The eyes of the runner.
Looking for some off speeds where he can sneak a stolen base in there.
And an emergency hack for Cora to stay alive.
Just trying to get an idea of what's going on.
I mean, I used to do that too, lead off first base and try to peek in and get the catcher's sign. What you're doing is you're trying to see off speed, maybe buy yourself another step to second base. But there's nothing more scary than being on first and taking your eyes off the pitcher.
Right.
You see the pitcher just flinch and you're diving back to the base. He didn't even throw over.
Tell you the truth, when I was on the mound, I'd like to catch the runners looking in, try to time it.
I mean, there was times when I would do it and I'd be peeking into home, and the catcher would, or the pitcher, excuse me, would simply step off, and I would dive back to the base thinking he's coming over because you're not looking at him.
You see that movement out of the corner of your eye.
And you dive back to the base. There's no throw, and you look like an idiot.
No balls and 2 strikes to Cora. And he'll be called out on strikes. He knows it, and he walks away. Washington has now stranded 8 runners. A different kind of ball game here today. Look at all that room.
In one of the many regions.
You could get 4 announcers in that thing and still have some room left over. Bottom of the 6th inning, and Dino, PA, and Jones Jordan Zimmerman about to throw his 78th pitch of the day. It's a good fastball.
Might depend on the announcers, too.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, you might have to kick that thing into four-wheel drive with a few of them.
Hey, Mike, I just want you to know on behalf of FP&I, it's been a real treat for us to
it's been a pleasure.
Get to work with you for the first time. Danny Espinosa's got time. This infield has really been good. Desmond, one error his last 20 games. Espinosa's only made 3 all year. These kids are pretty good up the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been enjoyable, I think, to get a look at, and especially through your eyes, both your eyes, on how good this young club has a chance to be.
Well, we've admired your career both in the front office and the booth and the field for many years. It's been great. Tell Jim Palmer we didn't miss him at all when you see him.
That's kind of interesting for me personally, I guess, with Jim Riggleman, a former Cape Cod League teammate, to be managing the Nationals. We've told a lot of old stories. Of course, Jim didn't last too long today.
Well, he's listening. Is there anything you want to say to him right now?
No, we were just going over the team. The last couple of days, we were going over our Cape Cod League team and with our first baseman, Nutty Ned Yetten, and where they ended up. It was very nostalgic, but good.
Yes.
That's a great summer league, I'll tell you that. I had nothing but fond memories about my time in the Cape.
Isn't Buck Showalter in the Cape Cod Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he is. I think he still holds the highest batting average ever. I think 430, 34, something like that. Yeah, we were talking about that around the cage yesterday with Buck. How many ties to the Cape Cod League?
Well, you guys can thank me for him being a manager because I broke him in as a broadcaster. That didn't last long. I really enjoyed getting to know Buck several years ago and hearing about his career. And things on the upswing in Baltimore and D.C. There's Zimmerman on a pitch up and away, and the count's 2-2 as Felix Pie, after taking a close one, hangs in there.
It's funny. I talked to a couple of the Orioles players today in their clubhouse, and nothing but great things to say about Buck Showalter.
Yeah, I think he's the best thing to happen to Baltimore in quite some time.
And a 2-2 coming. Oh, great backdoor off-speed breaking ball. Jordan Zimmerman, strikeout number 5, and he's now retired 12 consecutive Orioles.
Yeah, with some fear of he was going to be too strong for today's start, and he's had an outstanding breaking ball all afternoon. 2-2 breaking ball. His command has been excellent. Pitch count has been under control. Started a little bit on the high side, but just 85 pitches here into the 6th, well into the 6th.
Convergence Technology Citrix with the pitch track, experts with desktop virtualization. Companies can achieve efficiency and cost reduction. Call them at 301-860-1960 or log on to convergencetech.us. I saw Adam Jones stalling a little bit to get into the batter's box, trying to prolong this inning a little. He's fouled out and grounded out. And now he's popped up to the right side, and Jordan Zimmerman is getting outs a whole lot quicker than he was early in the game. He'll get this one into the 7th inning, top of the order for the Nats. They lead the O's 1-0. 8th inning here yesterday. He'll face Bernardina, Desmond, and Lance Nix. And while we're talking about Roger Bernardina, we'll have a look at our local Ford dealers drive of the game.
Yeah, go back to the 3rd inning. Roger Bernardina smokes this ball high off the scoreboard. Great job by Nick Markakis of getting the ball into the infield quickly and keeping Alex Cora at 3rd base, saving the Orioles a run. But so far today, he just missed the ball his last time up, flew out to right field. I thought he got that one, set Markakis all the way back to the wall.
If you add those two together, Bernardina's about 3 feet away from 2 homers and 6 RBIs today.
And a foot away from an out on home plate.
That's right. Literally.
I think it was his left foot.
Well, home plate is in fair territory. That's considered out of the box. So here we go, top 7. Bernardina in this series, 3 for 13. Seems like he's swinging the bat better than that. Gets a first pitch fastball to hopper Robert Andino.
Well, that's what Jimmy Johnson can do to you. Has that 95, 96 mile an hour sinker. The left-handers get a lot of rollover grounders to second base.
Next up is Desmond. Ian is 1 for 3 with a double. Lance Nix after him, 1 for 3 with a single. And a fastball boring in on Desmond, just off the plate, ball 1. That ball driven to left center. Desmond has another 2-hit game. He had a double and a bunt base hit yesterday, 2 singles Friday night. So in this series, Ian Desmond is now 6 for 14.
He just does a good job of keeping his hands inside the baseball and fighting off this pitch, strong enough to throw it over the infield. See how his hands are pulled inside right there? And fastball in, get your hands inside the baseball. Why do you do that? You're trying to get the barrel to the ball. Nice piece of hitting right there by Ian Desmond.
Had a nice look at it on the Jeep Exmo, brought to you by the 2011 Jeep Compass. Here's Lance Nix. Blooped a hit to center field last time. And they've been giving him a steady diet of breaking balls from their right-handers. He's 1 for 3 today. 3 for 11 with a homer, 2 RBIs, and a hard-to-get 2 walks this weekend. Nationals about hit the Orioles. 8-1, lead 1-0, top 7. Desmond, one of the best base runners in the major leagues this year. 3rd in the National League, 14 steals in 15 attempts.
Been slowed a little bit lately by that quad thing he's got going on, so it'll be interesting to see if he attempts a steal in this situation.
I did see him ease up, didn't you, in the first inning on that double out to right center? Still not 100%. We saw him have to pull up on an infield grounder in New York when it was cold and rainy this week, when he had a chance for an infield hit, but he just couldn't do it. There's already enough missing from the left side of the Washington infield, as we await Ryan Zimmerman to get some baseball activities going. Lance Nix, just enough movement on that fastball, and it's out to center field, 2 outs. You know, Mike, that's the one thing I miss most about this series. Every year we'd get Zimmerman and Markakis together, the 2 marquee young players from these ball clubs, have a dual interview with them and have a lot of fun with those guys.
It's usually a barometer of where both franchises are going. What is any ETA for Zimmerman returning?
Boy, I wish we knew. Yeah. They said 6 weeks about 2 weeks ago. You know, with that oblique and the abdominal, all that stuff going on, the surgery. You hate to say something like All-Star break, but at least if he's 100% for the second half, you'd be pretty pleased. We certainly hope he's back before then. Those are big men with those injuries. Even though Zimmerman's cruising, 2 of the big 3, Burnett and Clippard, are throwing. Jordan Zimmerman's at 87 pitches through 6 innings. So he might be good for one more. This ball game, despite Washington having 8 of the 9 hits, very much up for grabs. And Jason Worth is 1 for 3 with a double. Wieters checking the dugout. On a pitch away with the runner going. Worth hits it off the end of the bat, and Adam Jones is there. Time for a big crowd on a Sunday afternoon in Baltimore to take a stretch. Good hitters coming up. 3-4-5 for the Orioles. Washington on top, 1-0.
Time for the Geico game highlights. It all started with Roger Bernardino stepping on home plate. Jim Riggleman objecting to it. He goes to the showers in the first inning. Matt Wieters with a great throw to second base to get Michael Morris on the strike him out, throw him out. Then Alex Cora's been getting it done all season long for the Nats. Little RBI single. And then Jordan Zimmerman is a lights out fastball slider combination. He's been as good as we've seen him all season long. You see the 6th inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Alex Cora with the RBI single. Chris Tillman, 5 innings pitched, did a pretty good job of his own, and that's your Geico highlights.
Adding up to a 1-0 game, Zimmerman has retired 13 consecutive Orioles. In fact, he retired 5 before Scott walked. Reynolds doubled in the 2nd inning, and now he's retired everybody since then.
We talk about staying in the windup. He's been pitched the majority of this ball game out of the windup, and there's some talk about maybe too much rest in between. That's nothing but an exceptional fastball with late movement, late breaking slider curveball combination.
I never bought the too much rest for a power pitcher theory. I thought maybe sinker ball guys that rely on two-seam movement, you could get too much rest. Usually they pitch better when they're tired. So for a power guy, Mike, can you have too much rest?
I'm not really sure if you can or not. I was not a power pitcher, and was really conscious of not being too strong for the starters. And I know starters like Scotty Erickson along the way were the same way. They didn't want to feel too strong. Matter of fact, rather feel a little tired and fatigued, so they felt they had better wrist action and maybe finger involvement on your sinker.
Maybe go out real late the night before you pitch too.
But I think, something like guys like Nolan Ryan really didn't want to face Nolan with an extra day or 2 days rest, because that fastball was going to go from 96 to probably 98, 99 miles an hour consistently.
Well, real key at batting the ball game right here, Nick Markakis. Then there's Vladimir. Then there's Wieters. So this is Jordan Zimmerman's 9th inning right here. First pitch, fastball, base hit. Inner half, and Markakis knew what to do with it. Now he goes to the stretch for the first time since 2 outs in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, first pitch fastball intended to be away, catches the inside part of the plate, and Markakis is ready, turns on it.
I think Pudge wanted that one on the corner, so he'd roll one over to the second baseman. Here's Guerrero. Vlad's hit the ball straight away center twice. Once a liner, once a fly. Arguably the most dangerous base hit guy in the game right now. Good breaking ball, getting away from him to the outside corner.
That must be quite a sight for an opposing pitcher to look in there and see Vladdy in that stance. Just kind of hanging over the plate. You know he's swinging at anything. And coming in hot right here.
Didn't get it in far enough. That ball will be uncatchable, but foul.
And that's when Vladdy's trying to push the ball and force it the other way. Fastball in the inner third of the plate. You see him thinking opposite field right there. Just caught a little bit deep. Couldn't get the bat head out in time.
All right, what do you do 0-2 with this guy?
Bounce 4 in a row.
Breaking ball hit hard, heading for the wall. Baltimore leads 2-1. An 0-2 breaking ball that he hung right out of the ballpark.
Zimmerman hasn't made many mistakes this afternoon, but this is a hanger in the middle of the plate, 0-2. And Guerrero hits a low screamer.
You see where he caught that pitch versus the one before that he fouled down the right field line. He was late on the fastball down the right field line. I'm sure if you run out there and ask Jordan Zimmerman right now, he was trying to bounce that ball in the dirt.
Wieters goes up hacking, thinking he might get a fat one. Espinosa throws him out. Vladimir Guerrero with his 5th of the year. And the Orioles on top. I'm sure the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report guys will be talking about this series. It'll get back with you Monday at 7:30, and there is a special 2-hour show. Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson, Mel Anton, and all the hottest topics as far as the Mid-Atlantic rivalry and around baseball. Tomorrow, 5:30 to 7:30, with the Orioles a night off and the Nationals in Milwaukee. Here's Luke Scott. Orioles with their 42nd homer of the year. They're 8th in the American League in the long ball. So no multi-hit game for Vladimir today, but a multi-run home run puts his team on top.
It's too bad for Jordan Zimmerman that you can't afford to make one mistake in a baseball game, but you pay for it like that on a day that you pitch so well.
Markakis inside fastball. Guerrero hanging slider. Scott hanging slider. And now the Orioles have quadrupled their number of hits here in the 7th inning, and that might be it for Zimmerman. Mark Reynolds, it looks like they're going with Tyler Clippard. The end came quickly. I mentioned this was Zimmerman's 9th inning, and it didn't go well for him. Total command through 6, hit hard in the 7th. Six and a third, 4 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts. Responsible possibly for up to 3 runs. A pat on the back from his pitching coach. And now appearance number 21 for Tyler Clippard, which will tie Drew Storn for the staff lead for Washington. At times this year, totally dominated.
Fastball, slider, curveball, change. He'll throw his fastball about 60% of the time. He'll throw his changeup about 25% of the time. Likes those two pitches, and that's what'll feature the most.
Yeah, quick turn of events for John McLaren. All can happen so quickly, especially you're in a 1-0 game, where one pitch is the game. You two will also go over and sort of console Zimmerman.
And now in the Washington dugout, they're thinking about at least one hit in every inning today, and 9 runners stranded through 7. Orioles pitchers have made big pitches today when they've had to. Mark Reynolds 1 for 2 with a double. He's been wearing out right center field. Clippard's got a great changeup. Sometimes he'll throw it. First pitch. He goes heater there, 93. Pudge Rodriguez bouncing up in front of the umpire might have cost this pitcher a strike.
I'm sure that's a conversation he was having with the home plate umpire.
Luke Scott wasn't going anywhere. Reynolds a chance to get over 200 here finally. There's the changeup. I mean, he has identical motion on that thing.
I didn't get to see a whole lot of Clipper, but this is like you said, this is an above average changeup. That's what, 10, 13 miles an hour slower than his fastball?
That's a Bugs Bunny changeup. Wow. You swing at that thing 3 times.
2 or 3 times before it gets there.
The thing is, Mike, he throws it off 95, and it's not just.
It's a differential.
It's 95 with all kinds of elbows and kneecaps coming at you. That's very deceptive.
A lot of moving parts. I can see that. Yeah.
Nationals very interested in a base runner this year who's 0 for 1 in running. And as FP mentioned, he's got a breaking ball, 2 different kinds. A 4-pitch reliever, basically.
Yeah, throw the curveball about 10% of the time. You look at his delivery right here. There's a whole lot of stuff coming at you, then all of a sudden the baseball comes out last.
Nats picked him up several years ago from the Yankees in a deal for Jonathan Albaladeo, who was in the big leagues with Washington a short period of time. This was an outstanding acquisition. Fastball. Oh, Pudge has to be wondering where that was. And he's talking about it with Todd Tishner again.
Truthfully, he has that changeup planted in the mind of Reynolds. You could see him give that horse at the end of that. This is a battle right here, trying to gauge that 93 and then protect against the changeup. We end up getting a hitter right in the middle.
You got to drop the combo off a high fastball. You got to go changeup right here. You just showed him fastball in his eyes. Now you present it just like a fastball and pull the string.
1 out runner at first, 2 runs in. And the obsession with Luke Scott continues. Do we know something you don't?
I was going to say, there was a string of 13 or 14 consecutive games where the Orioles didn't even attempt to steal this year.
Baltimore 19 steals and 21 attempts this year.
The percentage is great.
Yeah, 3rd lowest steal total in the American League.
He kind of looks fast.
But on 2 different pitches, Pudge just popped up in front of the umpire, prolonging this at bat.
Well, he's looking for outs. If you're Pudge Rodriguez, you throw well, you're trying to throw behind somebody, so he's trying to help his pitcher out by looking for outs at first base. And in doing that, a lot of times you're going to take a strike away, but I'd rather have my catcher fighting for me, looking for outs on the field.
Ouch, brought to you by Ram Trucks, designed, tested, and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram on the Dodge Ram Exmo. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another off-speed pitch over by the first base side. Morris is a big guy with a long reach, and he has it. 2 outs. Off the bat of the right-hander, it came twisting back for him.
They had to reach over 2 bazookas that look like cameras to make this play. Nice job of field awareness right here. You see all the cameras in the camera well. Michael Morse finding the fence. That's the first thing you have to do. Find the rail, then find the ball.
Yeah, find the rail, listen for the clicks, and you'll know you're close, huh?
They got some good pictures of his armpit right there.
J.J. Hardy will be next. He's lined out to right and backed Bernardina up against the center field wall. So J.J. 1 for his last 26, still hitting in some bad luck here. Counts even 1-1.
You can see a couple would really get the hitter defensive early on, try to defend against that. I always felt, again, the best pitch in the game was probably after the fastball would be the straight changeup, that combination.
Especially when it looks exactly like your fastball. There's no different rotation, no different movement. There's just a difference at about 20 miles an hour.
That's the slider, low and away, 2-1.
Yeah, I always felt, 5 or 6 mile an hour differential is kind of a miss hitter. You get the hitter to drag the bat and take his power away. If you can somehow find that 10 to 12 mile an hour differential, you've got plenty of swings and misses. He's got good stuff to first base, too.
Luke Scott or Ricky Henderson?
I was going to say he's got more throws to first base than maybe the first part of this season.
Some guys just look fast.
He just look
that dude.
Yeah, what he's
fast.
saying, he's got no lead and he's not leaning towards second base at all, so he's probably going.
It might be the mohawk on the backside.
That could be
this
it.
Guy looks.
Well, and I think some of the preoccupation with the runner has Clippard throwing lots of pitches here. He's gone 3-1 to J.J. Hardy.
See, that looks aerodynamic right there. The hair at the back of the helmet. That'll buy you about 4 pickoff throws.
That's a tight slider to the outside corner, 3-2. And now Luke Scott will be moving with the next pitch.
Let's take a look at the 3-1 pitch, the target from Pudge. One of those red on the blacker ball that we've seen a lot this afternoon.
That was not in the box.
Missed the box.
3-2, Morse behind Scott. Off-speed pitch, and J.J. Hardy way out in front. Brand new ball game here, bottom 7 on the Guerrero homer. Scott singled with 1 out. Reynolds popped up, and now it's 3-2 on J.J. Hardy. Now Morse is holding Scott again. Off he goes, and another foul ball. Interesting, on the first 3-2 pitch, Morse played behind Luke Scott. And now they're holding him again.
Now, the reason you hold him on 3-2 with 2 outs is you don't want him to get that extra step or two to scoring a ball in the gap.
Not a guy as fast as him, huh?
If you got a guy that's not going to hit that hole over there, there's no reason to guard the hole if you have a right-handed pull hitter up. So what do? You hold him on and keep him a little bit closer and maybe keep him from scoring a run.
2 on, 2 out. And now Robert Andino. Back to the number 9 spot here. Andino 0 for 2 today. A strikeout and a grounder to second. Andino in this series 1 for 7 with a run batted in. A changeup at the knees. Ball 1. If you can't tell, it's Little League Day at the ballpark. They are making lots of noise.
It's a little higher octave.
And Sean Burnett continues to throw.
The sugar's bound to wear off here in the 7th, 8th, or 9th.
They better have a day off tomorrow.
They're going to crash.
Another changeup, 2-0.
You throw 94, 95, you got the 9-hitter up, and you go change up. Sometimes I just shake my head of the way that Major League Baseball, the game has developed into trying to trick people into outs when you have great fastballs. You see it every single night.
And along with that, and that time he delivered pretty quickly, but previously a mound presence that would indicate Ricky Henderson's on second and Lou Brock's on first.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been obsessed with base runners in this sequence here. And now Clippard, who's walked the number 8 man, batting .220, has gone 3-0 on Robert Andino.
Let's take a look at this 3-0 fastball. Right to the inside. Did I cut the inside corner?
He boxed it.
Yeah. Did you see Pudge just turn that glove?
A little subtle turn of the wrist. How you present the pitch. Bottom of strike.
My. Off-speed breaking ball. Bases loaded.
Yeah, pitch selection has certainly been questionable this inning by the Nationals.
Well, this isn't a guy that's a thumber. This is a guy that throws 94, 95. He's throwing 92 today, so maybe he's not feeling he's got his good fastball, but with his delivery and the funkiness that he has in his motion, he can go ahead and get away with 92. All of a sudden,
3-1 slider there again is really doing Andino a favor.
Well, he went change-up to get to 2-0, threw a 2-0 fastball, then throws a 3-1 slider to the 9-hitter. I think if you don't question that, you're not really watching the game. That's very, very curious.
He flew out Andino when he faced him yesterday. And in this series, he will face Felix Pie for the first time. Third base, Luke Scott singled. Hardy at second walked. Andino at first walked. And Felix Pie is the 8th Oriole to bat here in the 7th inning.
I mean, Mike, why do you do that some days when you come out of the bullpen? Maybe you don't have a feel for your fastball and you have a better feel for your off-speed stuff?
I'm not sure, because to me you would want to establish your fastball and your fastball command and have the fear of the changeup in there. I'm sure everybody's heard about the changeup.
There's another one.
But this is sort of, I guess the Babe Ruth syndrome. You think every hitter up there is in your head and is looking for the fastball. And frankly, this whole inning, the sequence of pitches has been questionable.
And we often ask, if you're throwing changeup after changeup, what are you changing up off of?
Yeah, what speed are you showing to establish that it is a changeup? Like you say, you throw 2 of those in a row, you're going to think his fastball is 78 miles an hour.
.94 right there, and PA is late.
Yeah, to me, if you throw 2 94s and you throw that changeup and the hitter only gets to see it once or react to it once, it's probably an out or a swing and a miss. To go the other way, changeups first, and then the fastball you can still defend.
But usually you use your changeup to set up your fastball when you have a below-average fastball to try to speed that pitch up and make it appear faster than it is. Tyler Clippard throws 95.
.94 back-to-back. That one to the outside corner, 1-2.
And usually when you see Tyler Clippard, you see the fastball away right here, 94, and the swing through strike. He'll elevate with 2 strikes. That's his out pitch. A lot of times he'll go to the changeup and bounce it, but we've seen him strike a lot of guys out this year with the fastball up in your eyes.
He goes changeup and gets the strikeout. Mike, it's been a privilege. See you soon, buddy.
Absolutely.
FP, I'll deal with you in Milwaukee. Vladimir Guerrero deals with the Nats and leads to the Orioles 2-1.
Park at Camden Yards, our Hyundai game flow brought to you by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. And this has been a pitcher's kind of afternoon. And welcome back into the broadcast booth. Jim Hunter, FP Santangelo, and Mike Flanagan. And where were you on April 28th? That's the last time Vladimir Guerrero had homered prior to the 7th inning to give the Orioles the lead.
Well, I think I was probably sitting right here, but
I was in a press box somewhere.
You're in a press box somewhere on the East Coast?
Maybe eating some bad food.
He had gone 82 at-bats in between home runs, and what a timely home run it was as Koji Uehara comes on here in the 8th. So, and each team leaving the bases loaded once in this game. Now the Orioles, their bullpen looks to protect the 1-run lead. And here is Wilson Ramos leading off, and he takes a strike.
Well, Koji, who worked in yesterday's game, pitched the 9th inning, gave up a double to Matt Stairs starting the 9th. Allowed a run on a sacrifice fly, but back out there again this afternoon.
And a strike in the outside corner.
I'm digging the pork chops, too. A little homage to Brady Anderson. Love it.
The Nationals, if they don't come back and win this game, are going to feel that they let one get away. As Bob Carpenter pointed out, they have at least 1 hit in every inning. And the only inning they have not left a man on base was in the 2nd when there was a strikeout and caught stealing to end the inning. Time here for you to vote, to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. And here are the candidates. Vladimir Guerrero, 2-run home run to give the Orioles the lead. Jordan Zimmerman, who was outstanding into the 7th inning. Or Alex Cora, who has the lone Nationals RBI. Text in your vote now. Have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862.
I see you guys playing a little makeup ball, throwing 2 Nats in there today. I like it.
We aim to please with our guests.
It's nice. Yesterday we forgot to put a Nat in there. Today too. Thank you very much.
And there is a strike.
I'll tell you who I would have put in there too is Nick Markakis. Besides the single to start that whole thing up, just a fantastic job of playing right field like a shortstop today. He held a run from scoring by the way he deked the ball off the wall early in the game. You talk about the throw to the plate too and the sac fly potential. And that guy's a good baseball player. He's won the game out there if they hold on in right field with his defense.
Todd Coffey continues to throw in the Washington bullpen. Looks like he'll come on in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 the count on Michael Morse. He has 2 hits on the day, and he fouls it back. Well, we'd like to congratulate the Maryland Terps lacrosse team and their coach, John Tillman. They've advanced to the Final Four in the NCAA lacrosse tournament after beating #1 Syracuse today in overtime. So congratulations to the Terps. Here's the 1-2, just inside 2-2. You know, the defensive part of the game, and you're talking about Nick Markakis, who probably is the most underrated right fielder, maybe outfielder in the American League. And there's a bounce in a short where Hardy has it, and then he gets it across for the second out.
Well, he's
It's a shame to me, and I'd like to get you, a former outfielder's opinion, how they vote the Gold Gloves for the outfielders, because they just lump them all together. They are unique, separate positions, aren't they?
Yeah, and the way he's played this right field, not an easy right field to play, and obviously it's his home park, so you'd expect him to know what he's doing out there and playing here for so many years. But the way he looked at that ball off the scoreboard, he made it appear that he was going to catch it, and the running catch coming to the line to where your head is bouncing that hard, you have to set yourself and throw a strike to the plate. He held Jason Worth at third base. Little things like that within the course of a game, especially in a one-run baseball game, turn out to be huge things.
2 down, here's Danny Espinosa, and he takes low. There have been so many years where the 3 Gold Gloves in the outfield have all gone to center fielders, and it's ridiculous because, as FP just pointed out very clearly, right field is definitely a unique position, in particular because of depending on the ballpark you're in. And that is a high fly ball to shallow center field. Jones is charging in on it. He'll get there. And he puts it away for the out. Koji Uehara, 3 up, 3 down inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Orioles have a 2-1 lead. Time to sign up your family for the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. Kids 14 and under get tickets to 9 remaining Dugout Club games, a hat, membership card, lunch bag, and subscription to Orioles Kids Magazine and more. And it's all for just $20. Plus, members get free giveaway items at each game, and family and friends tickets start as low as $6. You can even upgrade to lower level seats. Now, the next Dugout Club game comes up Wednesday night against Kansas City, so join in the fun. 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com.
Todd Coffey on for the Nationals. Big pot on the hill right now. Fastball 91-95. He's got a slider go about 86. A split to go with it, but his slider command and his late break on his slider have been outstanding of late.
He appeared in the game on Friday night and pitched very well.
3 ground ball outs, 2 to third base, 1 to shortstop, made it look easy.
Interleague Baseball in New York, the Subway Series. The Mets took a 3-1 lead to the 7th, and the Yankees scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 7th. So they're in the 9th now, 9-3. The Yankees over the Mets. Tampa Bay has one today at Florida. 4-0 the final there. Here's Adam Jones, who is 0 for 3 on the day. And he takes high. Adams' 7-game hitting streak is on the line. And the Astros have defeated the Blue Jays 3-2. That's a final. The Red Sox game is tonight against the Cubs. Wonder if they'll wear those 1918 uniforms again. That's pretty cool.
I like those throwback uniforms.
Oh, absolutely.
You like to wear them too. I mean, it's almost like it's Halloween. You go out there, you put on a different uni, you run around and trick yourself to thinking you're playing in the 1920s. A couple of beers in the dugout.
And act like a clown, right?
Yeah, that's low too. Well, a couple of years ago when the Orioles played St. Louis in Interleague in St. Louis, in the middle game on Saturday, they wore the replica uniforms from that era, and the Orioles wore the St. Louis Browns uniforms. So that was fun.
I don't like it in the NFL, though. Some of those uniforms they wear in football, you just don't even know who's playing.
Deep left field. Will it stay fair? It is hooking back foul. The Cardinals will play here this year in Interleague for the first time ever. One of the few teams that has not yet been to Baltimore. Cincinnati is another. They'll be here. In fact, back-to-back series. So Albert Pujols, who comes to your place all the time, will play here for the first time.
Well, that'll be nice for O's fans to see that guy swing the bat. He's fun to watch.
2-2 to Jones. High pop-up, shallow right. Worth in, Espinosa out. Worth gets there. And the right fielder has it for the out, one away. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the Living Classrooms Foundation. To date, the Orioles have drawn 140 walks, a total of $7,000. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Here is Nick Markakis, who singled to get the rally going in the seventh. It was a leadoff single. So Nick has now hit in 8 straight games. He has raised his batting average from .224 to .261 in the last 8 games. Kevin Gregg, the Oriole closer, is getting loose to work in ninth. The Orioles would love to get an insurance run. The Nats would like to keep it as is, so the tying run comes to the plate regardless.
Going to the bottom of the Nationals lineup.
The Nationals have 2 left-handers on the bench, LaRoche and Stairs, and 2 right-handers, Bixler and Hairston. 1-1 to Nick, bends around the plate outside, 2-1. Unless the Orioles have a huge inning here, their streak will end of 10-plus games. They have done it in 7 consecutive games. Orioles have only 4 hits. And that's taken high ball 3.
Yeah, Coffey doesn't have his good slider today. In the last 4 or 5 appearances, his slider's been nice and tight. Late break, a lot of movement. It's just kind of rolling up there.
Vladimir Guerrero looming large on deck. Pulled to first. Morse plays the bounce and runs to the bag, and 2 down. You know, Vladimir Guerrero, the difference in this game, he had been 0 for 2 and then came up. Got a pitch he could handle. Little bit of a hang on that breaking ball, and he hit it out about 4 rows back. His 5th home run has given the Orioles the lead.
One swing of the bat. Really the difference in the afternoon.
Well, 2 outs and none on. For the Nats in the 9th, Pudge Rodriguez, Alex Cora, Roger Bernardina are the 2 hitters. And Vladdy was trying to go deep again, and he swung through it. So you guess fastball, and you get that, and that's the result.
Yeah, and then you take inventory after the swing to make sure all your parts are still there. That's called letting it fly, folks. Not so much keeping your head in there. All the little leaguers at home, don't look at where Vladimir Guerrero's head was on that swing.
And the pitcher's
Kickers are all here.
Fans, O's maximum access is now in the palm of your hand. Text Oriole 92. Message and data rates may apply. same pitch, and Coffey got the same result.
And you can see the exaggerated target this time from Pudge Rodriguez, down on one knee.
If I'm Pudge on this pitch, excuse me, Mike, I'm setting up in the Orioles dugout.
Mid-batter's box,
Is
at
that
least.
legal?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm going to go sit right next to Buck Showalter and say, slider away.
They're determined to throw this slider to Vladdy. And he left it there.
High fly, right center field. Bernardina back, has a play, now circles to it, and he has it for the out. So the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. Here we go, 9th inning coming up. It's a 2-1 Orioles lead. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Hyundai, it's time to join the movement. Downtown Baltimore on this Sunday afternoon, as the Orioles and Nationals conclude this Mid-Atlantic rivalry round 1. And Mike, here's the closer on to try to earn the save.
Yeah, 19th appearance on the year for Kevin Gregg. 17 innings of work, 17 hits, 12 walks. That's the number that's a little bit disturbing for 29 runners in 17 innings. Pitched in game 1 of this series and not with much success. Had to give up 3 singles and a home run in the 1 inning he pitched. But he doesn't give in. Fastball, slider, splitter, everything for the corner.
He has given up 17 base hits and he has walked 12 on the year. Rodriguez fouls it off and it's 0-2. And for Gregg, this is 19th appearance, so that is a lot of base runners. Rodriguez lined out hard to first base. He's also popped foul to right and bounced into a fielder's choice. Matt Stairs out on deck to pinch hit, getting a possible home run threat up there in this 1-run game. And Rodriguez just got a piece to foul it off.
Well, Pudge Rodriguez is a lifetime 1 for 8. That one, a home run, so being a little bit careful. Slider just off the plate to Rodriguez. And Stairs on deck, a 164 hitter, but he does also have a home run against Kevin Gregg.
And he goes away. Rodriguez won't chase. 1-2. Just missed inside. Either he has a real good eye or he was fooled.
Yeah, I think this ball stays inside, but again, trying to do a front door breaking ball to come around and catch the inside corner. Somewhat of a dangerous pitch. Another flinch. That's the thing. Pudge never known for his walking ability.
Well, that one was a better pitch than the one before. That was a tough take for Pudge Rodriguez. Ball that almost came back and got the corner.
And the 3-2 is bounced to second base. Andino waits on it. He'll get it to first. 1 away in the 9th inning. Here's an update on the voting for today's AT&T Player of the Game. And Vladimir Guerrero, 84%, leading Jordan Zimmerman and Alex Cora. Still time to vote. A, B, or C to 51862. Text it in, and the results will be coming up on O's Extra Post Game.
And you talk about winning the game in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. You could make the argument the Nationals, if they don't win this game, lost it in the first inning. Roger Bernardina called back on a bunt where he stepped on home plate. Ian Desmond hit a ball in the gap that would have easily scored him. So in a one-run baseball game, a lot of times the game can be decided in the early innings.
A lot of close calls for the Nationals offense. I look back to it, the same hitter involved, just missing a grand slam by probably a foot to Markakis in right center. A lot of what-ifs for the Nationals this afternoon. It stopped them from adding on to a game that was 1-0 all the way.
Kind of reminds me of the 15-inning game the other night where the Orioles in extra innings had chances every inning and just couldn't get the big hit to get the winning run in. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, 2-0 pitch. See the target from Wieters.
Clearly a strike.
You think? Yeah, right on the black. Right there.
Oof.
With the extendo bat to reach it.
And Steres takes a strike. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and the Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles and the Nationals. 2-2 pitch, a little low, ball 3.
Believe me, Kevin Gregg makes it tough on home plate umpire because he just tries to nip the corners. This is a backdoor slider. He's trying to come on and catch that. Maybe get the call. You see Wieters frame it. This is how he pitches. This is not new. He does not aim for the middle of the plate. If it ends up there, it's totally an accident. A little bit of Don Stanhouse and Earl Weaver couldn't bear to watch either. Kind of a look down and away.
And he's got Mark Connor there giving play-by-play. All right, he's at the
Tell me if it's a strike.
And it's outside, ball 4, and he has walked the tying run, bringing the go-ahead run to the plate. So the trend continues for Kevin Gregg, another base runner. 13th walk he's allowed on the year.
And Brian Bixler coming on to run for Matt Steres. He's got good speed, a couple infield hits this year, so it's not always the home run from the pinch hitter. Good job of getting on base and getting that winning run to the plate.
Roger Bernardina, the leadoff hitter. He has one hit on the day, a double in the third, 1 out of 4. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. And he was involved in the play FP was just talking about. It was a drag bunt perfect, except his foot was out of the batter's box and he was ruled out. Or on the plate. Either way, it was out of the batter's box. And big play in this game. And the Orioles in the second inning had a run denied, if you will, because of the ground rule double that would have scored Luke Scott. A little late on the swing, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, right to the outside, black by Kevin Gregg. Again, not giving in. Just will not shoot for the middle of the plate.
That's a guy that's pulled some balls with authority today. He was looking inner half right there, looking to pull another ball into the seats.
Yeah, trying to stay away from the power.
0-2, runner at first, 1 down. Gregg protecting a 1-run lead. Foul back the other way.
Much like Don Stanhouse, who used to close for the Orioles. He can drive you a little crazy, but he's just not going to give in. He wants the hitter to expand the strike zone. It's a great command, great control outside the strike zone. He can just barely come close.
Another 0-2 pitch is fouled back.
That's what it does. It gets the hitter to expand the zone. Got Bernardina in the swing mode.
These teams combined for 31 hits on Friday night, a game won by the Nationals 17-5. They combined for 21 hits yesterday, a game won by the Orioles 8-3. Today, just 12 hits total in the game. Here's Bixler, the pinch runner, leading off first. Bernardino fouls off back-to-back pitches, count holding 0-2. And this is down and in.
And if you're a base runner and you're facing Kevin Gregg, he's a front shoulder guy. Watch how he comes set. His front shoulder's wide open. So what do I look for at first base? As soon as his front shoulder closes, I can go. And see how he's set right there? He's going to come set the same way. If I'm Brian Bixler, as soon as his left shoulder moves toward home plate, you can get a great jump.
And what's interesting about Kevin Gregg, and that's a good point, how open that front shoulder is. But he's one of those that really doesn't close it back up, but it has to go back towards the plate.
Just outside.
Yeah, even if it's just a little bit, Mike, which it is.
That's enough. That's what you read.
That's your key at first base, and he just misses right there with the 1-2 pitch.
And he can do this with the best of them. He's shooting for that corner. This is really black or a ball. The black of the plate, the outside corner, or a ball.
So from 0-2 to 2-2. Breaking ball, outside, I guess, ball 3.
Again, black or ball. He's just trying to nail that outside corner. Stay away from Bernardino's power, maybe get him to expand the zone. But again, this is not new behavior. This is really how he works. He's not going to give in.
So 3-2 after he got ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Bixler runs. And strike 3 call for the second tag. He's out at second base, and that's how the game ends. A strikeout, throw-out double play. Bernardino called out on strikes, and Wieters guns down Bixler, and that's how it ends. How about that? A strikeout, throw-out double play. Well, the Orioles turn 2. We send our congratulations again to Carmine Lamberti from Glen Burnie, who's just won another $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery double play contest. Now, what a way for it to end. The Orioles win it on Vladimir Guerrero's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th and get the rubber game and take 2 out of 3.